Damn phone.
Damn phone. We lost him already. How's it going, everyone?
Howdy.
Howdy. Boy, you just don't introduce anything. You're just like, yep, we're going live.
I'm trying to.
It makes me feel like I should say something, but then I almost feel like a butthead saying something. You know what I mean?
Okay, introductions. We got Intrepid Exotics. Ken from Ellen K. And Mr. Lynch, who disappeared off the screen.
He disappeared. He'll be back. I'm sure of it. Spencer's Food Reviews. How's it going?
Okay,
Thanks for stopping.
Wait for a few more people to roll in here.
The chairman. Good evening. Yeah, we're hearing some echoing too, but
Right.
I wonder if you turn your camera off, if that would do anything more, but it'd help the echo.
I don't know.
Let me
I don't see why the camera would have anything to do with it.
Because you're not pushing out as much megabytes, and it just might, smooth the audio out because you don't have to worry about video. But now you just kicked yourself out, so.
Okay, man.
It's on us now. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could bring up what I want to talk about. This whole venomous thing and people putting out material because they think they're cool, I guess. I'm not buying it. Like, I'm not going to throw anyone's names out there, but I watched an unboxing last week, and I'm not going to get into it about what snakes they were, but this idiot almost got tagged 2 or 3 times. And I'm sitting there watching this, cringing and going, how is this helping our community?
It doesn't help when we got things like that kid up north and actually I'd heard that may not have even been a bite that killed him.
Yeah, it was in PA, so that's where I'm at. I guess we're waiting for the toxology report to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know the guy, but it's kind of local to me, so I could follow it easier than most. But I'm not even going to get into what people are saying, but it looks like it's not even going to end up being a snake.
Right.
And either way is a shame, but I just think there should be some kind of class you should have to take before you handle these things.
Well, in most states there are.
Well, in PA, there's not. Like, I am a dumbass. If I had a venomous snake, I would probably be at the hospital every time I play with the thing because I just have balls of steel and not that much sense. Now, I'm learning it with the ball pythons, but I'm not taking, a copperhead or a diamondback or a rattlesnake or something and going, here, let me learn how to do husbandry with these venomous. And it honestly seems like there are a few people on this platform that just say, hey, I'm going to get into venomous. And they watch a couple shows on YouTube and all of a sudden they think that they could put out content. And man, it's sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not doing anyone any favors. So if you pull your snake out, your venomous snake, and it almost tags you and you're not comfortable with it, and the snake's not comfortable and everything don't go right, don't post it. Mm-hmm. Please, just don't post it.
Yeah, people really need to be mentored into venomous.
And that's what I'm saying. There has to be some kind of mentorship. I mean, even something extreme is like 1,000 hours mentored. Mm-hmm. Because that's what it takes to be comfortable with these things.
I kind of go right along with USR's line on that. I mean, they're not anti-regulation. They're anti-shitty regulation. I mean, I think anybody anything that can kill you. It's just in our best interest to keep everybody safe. There's some kind of something there. So it's every 16, 17, 18-year-old kid can get a hold of them and get themselves off.
All right.
I don't think
they're banned, but I'm not saying they should be banned because they are cool and there are some people out there doing them right. I just think there needs to be some kind of program in place to make sure these people that have these snakes know how to deal with these snakes.
Mm-hmm. I'm the same way with retics when we're talking about those. Can't tell you how many people have approached me saying, "Hey, this is." I've had a couple people say, "This is my first snake. What do I do?" You know, and you mentor them through it as much as you can the whole time. You just pucker it up, waiting for that snake to get a hold of them. You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I'm gonna see if I can find my headphones and see if it helps.
All right, mute your mic on. Just like that guy in Philly that bought that 18-footer. Mm-hmm. He was supposedly, seasoned, and it still ended up killing him.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see how that happened.
I guess he was taking it outside, because that happened in Pennsylvania too, just over last summer. Mm-hmm. He bought it, and it was near Philadelphia, I think, and it was taking it to a local park to show it. And I guess it was only like right there by his house, like 2 blocks away or whatever. And then when he got it out, I mean, that thing didn't play around. It wrapped him. Mm-hmm. And there's a bunch of people around. It's like, oh, wow, that's a big snake. I ain't going near that thing. You crazy? They shot the snake and the guy was already dead. So it was lose for everybody.
Yeah, it's sad.
And it just comes from even the experience. You can't let your guard down with these things. And an 18-foot snake, in my book, isn't something one person should be carrying around and handling by themselves. There should be a backup man there with anything over 15 feet. I mean, that's a strong snake.
I mean, I think anything over, you get close to 10 feet, they can be a pain in the ass. You don't necessarily have to worry about an 10-foot snake killing you. But it's hard to manage a bite from something like that, Trying to control the head, get them unwrapped and so forth. It can be kind of difficult.
I know I'm going to receive a lot of hate for this probably, or at least a little bit, but it just needs to be safer. Mm-hmm. I mean, when I first got into this and I went to my first reptile show and I seen rattlesnakes and diamondbacks and deli cups, I was just like, what in the hell is going on here? I mean, them things were striking like in these deli cups, and deli cups were moving. I'm like, if these things strike and knock themselves off the table, I don't think that tape around that deli cup's going to hold. Like, it was bad. And these dudes were laughing. Oh, yeah, they're feisty. They're feisty. I said, yeah, I ain't going near your table.
Right.
There's an 8-year-old kid over there.
Seen who all we got. I think both is about the only one that I know.
Big movie fan, the chairman, Mr. J. How's it going, Mr. J?
Right. So hello to everybody. I don't know.
Spencer's Food Reviews. And the rest of us does. We got a couple people on here. Drunk on Duty was in here earlier, but I don't know if they're in here now.
That never happens.
Yeah, I don't drink no more. Me and alcohol just, I don't know. I get too crazy on it. It's not like I get mean. It's just I end up like running naked somewhere. You know what I mean? I just get too crazy. It's like I'm Will Ferrell on, that one movie he played in. Old school.
That's
Tom
Cruise.
Yeah, I'm just running around town, you know, in the nude, going, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
Let's see if there's anything I can do on this end to kill my echo.
Mr. Lynch, how are you doing down there? You're pretty quiet tonight.
I had my mic muted. Oh, it stopped now. My echo.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on this? Like, you know, how venomous is handled in PA?
Bad.
At least I know.
I mean, even the people that have venomous, they get upset over that stuff too. You know, the ones that do it without getting real crazy. They're like, we're gonna lose it.
Yeah, for real. If there's not something, I could see them taking it sooner or later.
Yep. And if they do take it, it'll be our own fault because we're the ones that caused it. You know, the guys are free handling.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Is that any better?
It's not making all kind of noise.
I guess. All kind of technical difficulties tonight.
Dude, you're not echoing at all now.
This might have thrown a weird echo. When I was muted, these guys sounded good. I'm going to keep muting my mic when I'm not talking.
Warwick, you get those pics I sent you?
Yes, I did. I'll be sending them to George here in a little bit. Just for the record, I'm not smoking a pipe. I smoke tobacco.
Wacky tobacco.
Just for the record, that's why I have my camera off.
Okay, so Tim, I know you are a military vet.
Yes, sir.
How many years and which branch?
I had 10 years Army. I was let's see, through basic in 92, 93, something like that. So I was did 3 years in the guard on a marksmanship team. Then I was out for 3 years and then did 7 years active. So as a combat engineer was my duty MOS through active duty, and hit Bosnia in 98 and then Iraq in 2003.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah, got out 2005 after my knee surgery, and it's all been downhill ever since then. My body wouldn't have given out on me, I would have probably stayed in, but because I'd spent 2 years in the Special Forces pipeline, went through Special Forces selection twice, had a knee problem the first time, went back, rehabbed for 6 months, and got selected the second time around. But after going through school, it was just destroying my body, so I decided to get out. Knees were killing me. It's what's kind of kept me down here the last couple of weeks too, because I had a really bad knee issue I had to go down to the VA for. But so yeah, that's been my excitement. Now I'm working with I do GPS mapping for new natural gas installations. And of course, the channel and all the babies.
Yep.
That echo is completely gone now.
Ken, maybe your headphones were picking up your mic, or vice versa.
It must have been me because I got my mic turned off, and when I got it off, you guys ain't echoing. So
good. Let me see if I can get rid of these headphones then.
No, I'm talking about Ken's headphones, or Ken's whatever his speaker is, his microphone's picking it up, and it's giving the echo. It's like a feedback.
Yeah, it ain't doing it now.
Yeah, he mutes himself and it clears it up because it's just his microphone's picking up his speaker.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep myself muted unless I'm talking. That'll probably help.
So, what part of PA? What part of the United States do you live in?
Oh, I'm in Central North Carolina here.
Oh shit! So, you're part of that Tagoo band and all that happy horse shit.
Yep, I've got my Tagoo permit. They're actually being pretty decent about it down here. I had some people ask me about how you can transfer them, if you can transfer them, and so forth. Like if you've got one and you can't take it with you or something like that, if you could give it to somebody else who's got a license. And it was actually a person with Fish and Wildlife. I talked with the person that like makes the decisions on whether applications get approved or not, and they've been pretty flexible ever since it's went into place, as far as letting people transfer them over to other people that have got their permits, or letting people get their permits maybe late if they've got a good reason for it, or if they can show receipts and so forth that they've had the animal, prior to the ban going into effect. So they said they're going to be pretty chill about it until maybe August. At the 1 year mark is when they're going to really lock down and stop people from like late permits and stuff like that. So it's not bad. I mean, it's $10 a year for the permit. I'm just happy they didn't ban them completely,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as the stuff doesn't go any further than that, I'll get a permit for every single friggin' animal I've got here. And,
Absolutely.
If it's going to help keep people safe and it's going to help us keep our animals, it's got to be a give and take thing to some degree. We got to
the government offer butt about the stuff. I'm for it. If they want the $10 permit fee, cool. That's it. Don't take no more.
Yeah, they start getting up to something like $1,000 a year per animal or something like that, then it's time to talk. But because I'd have to get a second job just to support all the animals. I'll get my subscriber count up to about 2 million.
Well, that too, and it's like you guys have mentioned earlier when I was messing with my mic. A lot of the stuff that these people are recording and putting on YouTube, it as a whole, it makes us look bad, and which I know me and you have actually touched base before this months ago about my retics and my live feedings and stuff, and which it made me register and think a little bit, so I quit doing it.
Yeah, that can be a touchy subject, man. And it's one of those things where, like, when I go on, I try really hard not to demonize people for it, because I understand a lot of ball python folks live feed, and they've got various reasons for it and stuff like that. But it's, I think a really big thing about it is when you start getting into larger animals, the capacity for a big rabbit or something like that to really injure a retic or a berm or a boa or something like that, it's really there. And I think
one good kick.
I've tried to explain it to people, like, in the wild, dogs hunt live prey, but how many people come home and throw a live animal to their dog and let them destroy it,
Exactly.
So that thing just kind of, and for me personally, I kind of gauge my morality on, like, what does the most harm against what does the least harm, and I try and extend that out to everything that has the potential to feel anything, and I just kind of gauge that out. I just don't like seeing anything suffer. Yeah, I've seen enough of that in my life. Plus, there's a bunch of a couple other episodes on live feeding and what the vets say and biologists say, what US ARC says, and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just a really big proponent of frozen thawed. Absolutely any opportunity you can,
Up in the air. Thanks for stopping.
I get that, and my experience will allow me to change some of them over to frozen thawed. Like when I get something in that's on frozen thawed, they get frozen thawed, and I just can't get the ones to eat that are hooked on live. You know what I mean? It's just that I guess they like to, hunt it. They like to be a snake. And when I have them, there's nothing really that I could do, I feel, that could change that on them. So those ones get live. But when I get a snake that will take frozen thawed, they stay on it. I mean,
right. There's a lot of people like that. A lot of people do it. The biggest problem that I've got with it is people that just put it out there and their whole persona is all live feeding videos and let's watch these animals get destroyed and stuff like that. I'm never gonna talk bad about somebody just because they live feed. And start putting that stuff out there to where anybody's 6-year-old daughter that's got a pet rat can open it up and see that thing getting ripped apart by a croc monitor or something. That's one of the things that we was talking about just bad publicity for the community,
I think I maybe have 2 videos that show like the beginning of a live feeding or after it got wrapped up, and it don't show at all. You know what I mean? Like I usually typically don't put on live feeding videos. I guess I feel that I shouldn't need that to get to where I want to be. I don't want people subscribing just because they want to see a rat get demolished. That's not the target audience that I'm going for.
Yeah. It's tricky, man, because you'll get a lot more views, you'll get a lot more subscribers, you get a lot more attention doing that, and it's real easy to get hung up in that trap. Putting out regular educational stuff like I do, it's just a slow crawl. None of my stuff goes viral, none of my stuff gets huge amounts of views and stuff like that, and it's just a slow creep up. Whereas if I started putting out a bunch of, if I went down with my Nile monitor and started throwing cats at him, I'd have 2 million subscribers in a quarter of a month, because people just eat that stuff up.
Yeah, and half of them would be trying to figure out your address so they can send you some anthrax or something in the mail for being a horrible human being.
Yeah, I know, right? Yep.
What type of thermostat do you use?
I pulled them up, actually. Pulled up my old order. Opulent Systems. Pulled them off of Amazon. They're really inexpensive. The ones that I've had down there in mine have been working for years. Really reliable. Never had any problems with them. They're just really simple, really basic thermostats.
Cool beans.
I've been hearing a lot of good things about the Inkbird ones. That they're just like the digital ones that you see, for reptiles, like the Zilla ones. But the one you can get, it's for hot and cold, and it'll shut off on the cold side, not the hot side. So that's kind of where it has an advantage. You could set it to, like, say your high side's 90 and you want your lowest to be 80, so or whatever, 85. And say if it malfunctions at 85, that's where it'll malfunction and it'll go down. It won't let it rise above 90.
Right.
So, I mean, in my mind, that's kind of what you want anyways. And they're only like $30. I'm replacing mine with all of them.
I'm pretty fortunate in the respect that my reptile room stays at about 80 degrees and between 40 and 60% humidity all the time. So it makes it pretty easy. Yeah. Matter of fact, like my retics particularly, they spend so much time on the cold side of their enclosure. They just every now and then they'll go over a no bask, but it's not for very long. And a lot of times they're even curling up in their water bowl. So
mine was like that. Where my retics were at in the house, there's 2 big bay windows right here, and the sunlight would hit here in the morning, and it's there all day long, baking in that window. And it's very seldom did you ever see them on the hot side of their enclosure.
Oh yeah, yeah, they like their. Yeah, we talk about reptiles needing their temperatures, and they do, but I find a lot of mine really prefer the lower end of the. Like my Nile monitor, he's got a 115 degree basking spot, and he lives in his tub. Yeah, and the tub's 70 to 75 degrees.
He finally getting settled in with his enclosure.
Yeah, man. Today was the first time I actually put a video of it up. Today was the first time he voluntarily came out of the tub and down into the actual ground area of the enclosure on his own. So,
that's cool. He'll be loving that in a week.
Yeah. I've really got to make some more stuff for him to climb on, because as soon as he starts he's really mellow, of course, until he gets up on his basking platform. And as soon as he warms up, man, that dude is 100 miles an hour, just zooming around there. I'm really looking forward to getting him outside this summer. That's one of the things that's where he's happiest. I get him on the harness and get him outside and walk him around, and all of the, all of his senses are on point, and he just starts cruising around. He loves it.
Yeah, I had a 7-foot alligator that loved it outside.
Oh wow.
She was, I went to go pick up a retic, and this dude had it and a little male, and he ended up giving me the alligators, and I paid for the retic. He gave me the alligators. A buddy of mine ended up with the little one. I kept the big one. And she was puppy dog tame. Some old lady had that alligator, and she was free range in her house.
No way.
And dude, I took it home. I had no intentions on getting it, so I kind of like half-assed an outside like 48-inch. You know how you can get them collapsible dog run things for little dogs? I kind of half-assed one of them together in the corner just for the evening, thinking, okay, it'll be good in there. It won't get out. I'm sitting on the shitter at like 2 a.m, and here comes this alligator walking right into the bathroom. Like, oh shit.
I just get a picture of Miami Vice when they walk out onto the boat. There's a big ass gator on there.
Yep. We moved. Oh hell, it was probably 5 years ago we moved. And I put her up on Marketplace to rehome her. And I had people calling me asking me what size aquarium this thing needed. It's a 7th alligator. What needs a fucking swimming pool and a room in your house?
Yeah, right. It needs a swimming pool. I don't know. I don't think I would ever want to get an alligator. That's just too much, too big. I mean, but hey, if you know what you're doing, they could be really good pets. But I don't know. I don't have the slightest clue.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you're going to have an alligator for a pet, you should at least have a basement or a 2-bay garage where you can turn half of that garage into an enclosure for it when it gets bigger. And you got to think about summertime because it needs outside.
It needs room, to walk and stuff, and it needs exercise. Just like Tim was saying, he takes us out and walks it. Like that's what they need. I mean, there's just a little room.
Yeah, I know. I like watching your research moving around outside.
Yeah, they're all going crazy.
I'm gonna take a couple of my ball pythons outside this year. Last year they was just too small, and I wasn't, I'd say, gonna have to handle them to take them outside. This year I got it.
I don't know, man. I'd be too worried about a hawk coming down and getting one of my smaller snakes outside.
Yeah, in PA, we got to worry about hawks and bald eagles actually in this valley, because we have a bald eagle sanctuary that's less than a mile, my house that way. So I mean, I'd be on high alert, and I'd only have one out at a time. I wouldn't have multiple.
I'm subject to walk out my door any day and see an eagle flying around.
That'd be a funny video, me trying to get an eagle off my snake, or stop an eagle from diving down to get it.
It'll never happen, buddy. By the time you realize what's going on, it'll be done and over with.
Then I'd post it and I'd get a fine for trying to hurt the eagle.
Yeah, that's what it'd be. I'd end up going to jail because my snake ate a bald eagle or something like that.
And it had a tracking device in it, and it shows up looking for their eagle in your basement.
Yeah, these original ones that they placed here, they all have tracking devices. They basically set these two golden eagles, and they're a little bit bigger than bald eagles. They set two of them with tracking devices, and they set them, I think, 20 miles apart. And here they met up, and I guess they was able to set a camera up on the nest, and they actually was able to like have a baby, because I guess the golden eagle only has one baby at a time. So they was hoping that bringing another female for that male would expand it. I don't know. You haven't seen many golden eagles around, but you see the bald eagles, they're spreading. You see plenty of them up here.
Yeah, about the only thing you really see out here is owls and hawks. I haven't seen anything bigger than that. Down here in North Carolina.
Yeah, up here in PA, I mean, we have all kinds of birds. I've seen a blue heron up here not that long ago.
We do have those. We got a lot of water down here.
Yeah, they were supposed to be almost extinct, and like only in one section of Maryland they had them. Well, they spread up here, because I have pictures of them on my other phone.
There's a lake out by Charlotte, and it's been years since I've been out there, but there's a nesting island out there for these guys. And it's like Jurassic Park, and there's massive nests out there, and you can just see them like turn active the skies when these guys are moving around. It's a really cool place. You got to get out of boat and go out there, but it's really neat.
I think that sanctuary they had is in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and it was just like kind of the same setup. There was this big lake with an island in between, and that's where they had the blue heron sanctuary. So, I mean, I think that's a common occurrence that they put them in the islands like that. But then things spread. I mean, Gaithersburg is probably about, I don't know, I'd probably say maybe 100 miles in a straight shot from here. So I could see it spread.
We got them fishermen birds too. Gray fishers or whatever the hell they are. I forget what they're called.
Yeah, they look like storks the first time you see them.
Yeah.
No, not storks, but them long. Maybe that was the wrong word. Long ass beaks, long ass legs, and they're sitting there fishing in the water, taking all the trout. The fishermen up here don't like them.
Yeah, it was one thing. Florida was down there. Some of those piers and the birds will just sit there, and you can walk right next to the things within inches, and they just kind of watch you go by.
I give up trout fishing up here in PA. Everywhere you go anymore, it's assholes and elbows.
Yeah, I got a couple places that I'll go like a couple days after for the opening, and they're just to catch natives. I mean, I have to walk back into the mountains and stuff, but just to catch 6-7 inch natives. But they're so good; they're the best eating.
like the second or third week of trout season ain't bad because you get the majority of the trout fishermen guys that go turkey hunting. So they kind of leave the creeks to go into the woods.
Gobblers. We got a lot of turkeys around here. I'll tell you what, them turkey hunters been slacking. There's turkey everywhere up here.
So how's your rat been working out, Mr. Lynch?
I've made a top for it. Like I just drill the holes for the water bottles. I don't know if I'm going to do that or a watering system. I think I'm going to do rats in it instead of mice. Because it's pretty big. It's like 4 foot long.
Yeah.
Almost 2 foot wide. One of those troughs.
Yeah, that's big enough for rat.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think rats and ASF even, it's all in what you feed them. If you feed them good stuff, your snakes are going to grow.
I use Missouri. I get a pretty decent price on it.
That's what my rat breeder uses, and my snakes are fucking shooting up. Excuse my language, but they're boom. They're doubling in like 2 or 3 months, once a week feeding.
I feed my little ones about every 5 days.
Well, I just got a bunch of mice. I'm going to get back into them.
Mice are all right. You just got to feed double.
Yep.
Roadhog.
Get that. You got to get them to eat a lot of mice if you want them to gain weight.
Yeah, I had them before with 8. I'd feed a snake 6 at a time.
There's nothing wrong with that then.
And they got the size really fast. That's what I want to do to my Desert Ghost stuff. Get them back on mice. Get them up to size faster.
God damn dog. Anybody want a dog?
No, thank you.
Go lay down. She's a Catahoula Australian cattle dog mix, and they're non-stop.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bad echo. It's coming from Ken's microphone.
Mine's turned off. It ain't mine this time.
It's only there whenever your mic's on.
It's just his mic's picking up his speaker, headphone, whatever he's using.
Something, yeah.
Yep.
So I wonder if Mr. Pruitt's going to open up a zoo up there where he moved his new warehouse at to try to stay in the grace of this band if it comes through.
I doubt it.
I don't think PA is going to have a ban. If anything, they're just going to make us pay for having the animals.
Well, he's not in PA. He's in South Carolina now.
Oh, well, that's possible.
I think you weren't just in bed. You would have got bombarded.
Sherry, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Sherry, how's it going?
So how many reptiles do you have now, Tim?
I think I'm right around 30 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't have a really big collection. It's 25, 30. Got a couple retics, couple berms, jungle carpet python, couple hoggies, couple balls, my boa imperator, green tree python. Got 2 rough scale green snakes over there sleeping. And of course, a Nile monitor, a tegu, and we've got bearded dragons and leopard geckos and crusties and things like that as well. But it just, for me, working full time and with the space that I've got, I'm pretty much capped out on what I can get. I really don't have any more room for a big enclosure down here. I might be able to squeeze in 1 or 2 more animals, as long as they don't require more than a 4 or 6 foot enclosure. But tapped out on space, and I like to interact with all of my animals a lot. So it keeps them enriched and keeps them nice and socialized and really easy. So that's kind of a sweet spot for me. I don't have any intention of breeding, so I've kind of hit the only ones that I really want to add is I really want to get a green anaconda enclosure set up, a real good one, and I want to get a hydrosaurus, sailfin dragon, and those are the 2 big ones.
What's your thought on the
pretty cool
anacondas as pets?
That's the same as any other large constrictor, really. It's just, as long as you've got the space for them, as long as you can, give them what they need and learn how to handle them. I think adult green anacondas are more dangerous than adult retics. I think they're stronger. You get something the size of a big green anaconda, compared to a retic. It's a lot stronger animal. I mean, the biggest retic I've ever been wrapped up by was 16 feet. And if it would have been a 16-foot green anaconda, really buffed out like they get, it would have been a whole different conversation, I think. So,
definitely.
Yeah.
What's up, Andy?
But just like anything else, man, it's just, those things are cool. My retics are so easy to deal with. They're so easy to work with. So anybody can do it. You just got to make sure that you're doing it right, You can't go in half-assed, and you can't, abuse the animals. You can't let yourself get afraid of them so they never interact and they hate people, and the next person that gets it can't work with it. And people really need to, it's a big reason when I first got into reptiles, I thought breeding reticulated pythons would just be it, and the more I started to learn and the more I saw how many retics some of these places were pumping out, and then working with those animals, and you realize that there's more snakes than there are responsible keepers out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you just
exactly
not every snake, not every retic's going to come out and be a $5,000-$10,000 snake. Some people are the $500,000 pet snakes, and it's the same thing with the Nile monitors. You get them, they're 18 inches, and they're really, really tiny, cute lizards, and then all of a sudden you find yourself with this 6-foot animal that doesn't particularly like you all the time.
Maybe half the time or less.
Now, some really good.
I've never been around a Nile monitor. Are they like a bigger snake? If you go to open their enclosure today and they don't want bothered, they kind of give you that look, and just to close it up and walk away.
I can speak on mine, and I kind of compare it to, like, when I go into one of my retics enclosures and I tap down his food response, we're good. I don't worry about him the rest of the time. I can have him out for 30 minutes or 2 hours. Never worry about getting bit. But the monitor lizards, you go in and they're just so reactive. It can change from minute to minute. Something gets their attention, they perk up, they think there's a food opportunity there. Especially like with Niles, he's really chill and really cool as long as he's just soaking down in his water and hanging out. But he gets up under his heating lamp, and his body starts to warm up, and his metabolism starts to speed up, and you really got to watch him because he's kind of like a little damn puppy in a lot of respects, when he gets like that. And he'll nip. There's times where I'll go over to reach for him, and I mean his head just zeroes in on me. So it's like I said, I don't worry about my snakes doing anything once I've got them out. But him, it's just constantly you got to stay on point, because if you're slacking and you move really quick around him, sometimes he'll key in on that and he'll try and get a hold of you. So it's like a constant tapping down the food response.
My snakes are good at letting me know whether they want to be messed with or not. I'm just saying, like, I got a couple of them. You go to touch them or go to pick them up, they jerk at you. Okay, I'll clean your cage tomorrow. It's not that much of a mess. You just get pushed back. And that usually the next day you open it up and they're fine. And there's just some days you open it up and they're just like, "Don't touch me! Like, I will bite you."
It's like
They look at you like that.
Any animal,
they have their moments.
Exactly. I don't want to have anything to do with you, and that's that. Just like some of us.
Benjamin, thanks for coming, Benji.
He's like 5 seconds behind. Remember that.
Oh, yeah, it's got to skip across the pond. I forgot about that.
Hey, Benj.
Benji, if you don't know him, he's this fella here in the middle with the long hair and the headphones on. He's from New Zealand. And apparently his battery died or something.
Yeah, I don't think he can hear us.
It's the land of the Maori.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just keeps freezing.
Yeah, he's having crappy service.
Yeah, it's funny though. I mean, what you was talking earlier about
how sweet is.
Your snakes look grumpy and leaving them alone and so forth.
2 hours, but
sometimes you have to.
I've got an echo and like.
Oh, there we go. You can hear him.
I've got an echo or something happening.
Yeah, Ken's mic's echoing real bad tonight for some reason.
What? I know there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you're going to poop on my keyboard. You are not going to do that.
Look, my retic that I had, that female, there was days that she was super chill. You could open the door up and she'd just crawl out and go about her business and crawl back in her enclosure when she was done. Then there was days that you would, like, I swear you would walk past and look in there at her and she'd strike at the damn glass.
God damn it. There's so many people on it that it's lagging.
Yeah, I don't really let them get away with that. And oddly enough, I don't have any problems with them once they get out. Like, I've got a video I was just showing somebody today of my 16-foot male. And, as soon as I went up and started opening the glass, how his head just darted over and opened his mouth a little bit. As soon as the glass gets opened up, he's squaring off with me, and I just give him a little bit of time, let him think about what's going on, a little bit of work with the hook, push him around a little bit and get him out. And they're always fine. They'll, with him particularly, probably half the time, he'll be like, "Man, don't mess with me. I don't want to do this." And then as soon as I get him out, he's perfectly happy. He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I guess I'll get out and stretch my legs."
My retic, I bought her off Samson. She was, I want to say, 5 or 6 years old when I got him off her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just kind of a firecracker since the time I got her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got Tigger, that purple tiger I've got. He was 12 feet when I got him. And same thing, man, popping at the glass. Just wasn't really well socialized at all. He didn't like people too much as a general rule. And it took a good month or two to get him kind of calmed down. You know, he chased me out of his enclosure a couple times. And we came to terms. It took a little while, but I mean, now I've got him to the point where I can take him out in the backyard, and there's times when he'll come all the way across the yard to me and crawl up on my shoulders.
I seen that one video that you posted where you took him all the way in the back corner and walked across your yard, and he crawled up to you and was hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, that just is such a 180-degree day and night difference from when I got him, you know, which is really cool.
And they're unbelievably smart. You know, they'll remember that bad interaction with one person for years.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons too. Like if I need to get into his enclosure or something, even if their food response is so hot that they pop at me or something like that, you know, I try and have the patience to work them through that every time, you know, and just get them to the point where they're moving away from me and disengaging, and then getting them out. And they seem to remember it. Like I said, they're so easy to work with now. And it's of course a lot different too when you're working with your own snakes that you've got a relationship with, and then you bring out a new one that's been treated a different way.
Yeah, and then they react. They've been treated differently, so they're going to act differently. It's just natural. And what are you gonna do?
Yeah, he said his phone died.
All right, Ken.
But come on, sweetie.
Now, did you have any trouble getting your berms to go for frozen thawed food?
No, but the baby berm that I've got, the little female, I had to force feed her for 2 months probably after I got her. That animal was actually a gift to me from somebody who knew exactly what I wanted to get a normal female.
Hey, Connor.
So I got surprised one day. I'll come to find out the person that gave her the snake, the breeder, I mean, pretty much almost right out of the egg, sold her. So there was no, first, second, third sheds or nothing. There was no first, second, third meals. The snake hadn't even eaten yet. So I just had a hell of a time. I tried everything that I could think of, and I was down to every week, force feeding her and offering the second day, and then force feeding her if she didn't take it. She wouldn't open her mouth. She wouldn't strike. It was just the weirdest thing. I'd never seen a hatchling that just refused to open her mouth at all. But all of a sudden, after working with her like that, and after a couple months, she ended up just taking it, and she's been on point ever since. Yeah, I tried getting some live fuzzies. I tried, putting her in the enclosed space and the bag and the containers and all that stuff, and she just refused to take anything. Now I've got these little fetal rabbits that I'll take down there, and she just hits them things like a freight train.
Oh yeah, they love rabbits.
Oh yeah.
People said, glad you got her to thrive. Most babies that refuse like that don't make it even with assist force feeding.
Yeah. She's a lot smaller than she should be. I mean, I don't even remember how old. I want to say 2 years old. But
so she's about the same age as my berm. Then my berm's like 19 months or something, somewhere in around there.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's just barely 5 feet now.
Mine's about 7, give or take, when she stretches out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm really trying not
to. The dude that I got her off of,
overcompensate.
The dude that I got her off of, he was only feeding her 2 small mice every 2 weeks. So that's what stunted her growth.
Yeah.
Little beasties.
But she makes up for it now.
Yeah, I'm not in a terribly big hurry to get her huge. I'm letting her take her time. Yeah, I've already got 3 snakes that kill my back every time we go outside. So I do like to be able to enjoy having one that I can actually do stuff with.
Exactly. You know, we got rid of our retics. Breeding season come in, and my male was 15 foot, and he kept striking at the plexiglass every time my boy would walk past his enclosure, and which was it was head high for my 4-year-old. So it was time that I couldn't put him anywhere else in the house where the boy wouldn't get to him. So I just bit the bullet and.
Yeah. I'm a pretty calm fella, but if I had children in this house, it would be a constant anxiety attack for me.
I don't blame you.
I would be terrified of one of the kids getting in and getting in trouble. And
absolutely, man.
My kids, because if it was anything like me, I was a little asshole. And I listened to nobody. I learned everything the hard way.
That's him.
Yep.
PDX, how's it going tonight? Where's your old man at? But we decided to ship them off, and we focused more on ball pythons for him. I got my berm, and I ended up taking that blood python in as a rescue, and that got something started with me. I've done fallen in love with blood pythons, and
yeah, I think Jeremy and Rob down here both work with those.
Ooh, everyone's stopping to show some love. Where's this person? I can't get rid of him. No
come
fun.
on, you stupid phone.
And Lynch is back. Hey.
So where are you at, Mr.
I don't
Lynch?
know if
What's is that?
Where are you at?
I live right by Morbid, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Like I could throw a rock and hit them.
Go ahead.
Yeah, literally. That ain't no shit. I bet you if he'd get a good paintball gun and the wind was blowing right, if he'd stand on his back porch, they'd probably land on my property somewhere.
Really? That's cool. Seems like Pennsylvania's got a whole lot of reptile people up there, man.
Yeah.
There is.
I mean, I'll be up there at some. I think I'm gonna try and get up there for Retic Fest up to Garrett's place this summer.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I've just been so landlocked lately. I can't get out to any shows. I don't have too many people really close to me. I mean, I know a couple people, couple breeders and so forth within an hour of me, hour and a half or something. But not somebody that I would want to trouble coming over to my house and taking care of the animals every day, you know. So
yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, because I mean, I've got the prairie dogs here and a hedgehog and the dog that's not on the chair anymore.
And no family or friends that are.
My mom retired to Florida, and my daughter's a cop up in Indiana, and so yeah, it's just me and my girl down here, and her mom's in Brooklyn. So, and of course, they don't want anything to do with snakes. Her brother thinks she's crazy.
And it ain't like you can just advertise in the neighborhood, hey, I need somebody to come take care of my snakes for the weekend. By the way, if you get eaten, it's your problem.
Right. There's not too many people.
I'll come back and the tummy will be full.
Definitely not too many. I mean, there's not too many keepers I would trust with the Nile monitor anyway.
Yeah.
I can count on one hand the people that I know out here in the state that I would trust to handle it and not get themselves hurt, you know. So which is, I guess, pretty good incentive for me to stay alive for a little while.
Yeah.
That just makes it.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, when I first got into keeping reptiles after I started shutting all my marine aquariums down,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just like anything else. You know, you meet a couple people locally, and you learn who's good and who's not. You know, you make contacts with people, and then you learn a little bit more, and you're like, okay, yeah, I need to get the hell away from this person. And it's just kind of like a back and forth, you know, trying to find that happy medium of, okay, you know, these are, and we've done pretty. I mean, it was really helpful when Jeremy and Rob moved down here from up north because, yeah, they got the Carolina Herpetological Society started down here. That's North and South Carolina. It was pretty active last summer. Hopefully it keeps going, you know, it's even bigger this summer with some public education stuff and all that. So really good way to network with some good keepers.
How north were you?
Pardon me?
How far north were you?
How far north when
he was saying the people
far north. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
My
no.
brain heard you wrong.
No, I was born up in Gary, Indiana, so when somebody says north, I always think they're referring to that. That was Gary, Indiana, Chicago area.
I know. People ask me, and it's like, I'm north, but a lot more north.
If you ever should find yourself in a need for a good venomous enclosure,
what's his name?
Joe Challenger.
Joe.
He's in Wisconsin.
He has excellent ones.
They have
goes off real nice.
Like if you get a 6x2 enclosure, it'll have a 2-foot box on the side of it that has a little trap door that you can slide out and lock the snake in there so you can clean its enclosure and shit and not have to worry about interacting with said snake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something I'm building. And when I do get moved and I start putting together new enclosures, I'm gonna start building my bigger enclosures with dividers in there. I'm gonna have 8-footers with dividers in the middle, and then 12-footers with a divider in the middle.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, just to simplify things. I mean, like right now, my if I've got to go in and do something in one of my retics enclosures, I've got a lid that I can put in there, a really big lid that I can slide in, so I don't have to take the snake out. You know, I can go in there and do whatever I need to do and pull it out. It would be kind of nice to have those dividers in the middle.
Yeah.
But plus it doubles up your enclosures too. You know, if you've got a 12-footer with a divider, you get 2 6-foot enclosures and you can multi-purpose them.
Yep.
True enough.
So, should be cool.
You can put that female in there right beside that male that you want to breed it to down the road, and they get used to their pheromones and their scents and stuff being in the same enclosure.
Yeah. If I ever end up getting into a position, I bounced the idea around of trying to find a building and opening something up out here. It's not starting from scratch. It's a long process, but if I ever do, I think that'll probably be the only time I start breeding. So if I actually get something like that set up, it'll also be the only time I ever keep venomous, and that'll be a process getting prepared for that as well. So. I mean, just like he was saying earlier, I'm kind of that dummy that would go up and try and kiss a frickin' cobra eventually. Oh, it likes me now. If you're reading about my ass in the paper the next day.
Well, my thing is, I like to have a few beers every once in a while, and when I do, I like to get my snakes out and play with them. So yeah, you'd find me laying dead on the floor with a snake bite in an open enclosure somewhere, and where in the hell did the cobra go?
Yeah. I mean, I used to work with...
Your wife would be pleased with that. Not.
Yeah. I used to jump out of airplanes and defuse bombs and ride really fast on a motorcycle, so I've really not always been the smartest fella in the world.
I'm gonna have to interview you.
I would love it though, man. I really am amazed by a lot of them, but honestly, for me, I don't think the risk is worth the reward, not unless I've got something set up that's actually going to be a zoo type setting.
Yeah, it's a little dangerous.
Yeah, mistakes happen.
Absolutely.
I'd much rather be able to just wrap up a retic bite, spray some Listerine on it, and call it good.
Go for stitches if you have to.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
At least your medical bill is not going to be $80,000 and possibly losing your home to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Antivenom, crazy expensive from what I hear. Like I said, I've never had to mess with it. So.
I think Hilljack said his was like $70,000 for a rattlesnake bite.
Yowza. That'll
And
have
that's
you
a local
paying it
snake
off for a
too,
while.
man.
And you want to know what the bitch of it is? I don't know how familiar you are with Pennsylvania, but Fayette County, Connellsville gets invaded in the summertime whenever the water starts drying up because there's one creek that runs down through the middle of town that don't dry up.
Mm-hmm.
So them rattlesnakes come in out of woodwork to that creek.
Really?
And he went to that hospital because it's 15 minutes away from his house, and they didn't have any anti-venom on shelf for him.
That sucks.
I mean, there's all kind of timber business and shit up there. You'd think they'd have that stuff on stock.
Yeah, you would.
Someone didn't consider.
It's a really industrial area, some of them places out there. I have been years, but we made a trip up to Pittsburgh and, hung around up there for a little while. I remember they only sold beer by the case, too. We wanted to go in and get a 6-pack, and they were like, no, you got to buy it by the case. It's like, shit,
You can get by a 6-pack now.
Beer up here, ain't you?
You can buy it by a 6-pack now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they got them at convenience stores like Sheets and that now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was all state stores, man. You could only buy it 24 days at a time or something like that last time I was up there.
But you go to a bar and pick up a 6-pack.
You can get single cans and shit at Sheets now.
Yep.
Little pints of Fireball or SoCo or...
Yeah, we're just a little behind everybody else.
Right. I mean, down here in North Carolina, it's all, you can buy beer at the gas stations and shit, but liquor is all still state run.
Yeah.
State booze stores and shit like that.
We have that here.
Yeah.
The booze stores, they don't sell them in grocery stores or convenience stores or anything. It's just liquor store, and that's that.
Yeah, and it really doesn't even matter to me anymore because I don't really drink anymore.
I don't drink at all.
I might drink once a year, maybe once every 2 years or something. Yeah, if I'm at a social function or something like that, I'll drop a little bit of booze, but I'm getting to the point now where it just puts me to sleep. It's no fun. If I want to be able to enjoy hanging out for a night, I got to drink coffee, man, or else I'm just going to go to sleep.
I wish I could go to sleep. I don't sleep as it is, and then I drink Monsters and coffee all the time.
And that other thing you make.
Even if I don't drink it, I still don't sleep. It don't matter.
Because there's so much in your freaking body, it's not going to let you sleep for another 12 years or something.
Oh, caffeine?
Monsters and coffee.
Oh, I'm convinced
coffee
if I went a day without a pot of coffee, my heart would stop beating.
Probably.
That's how it is.
Yeah. Morbid, you drink that coffee that'll wake the dead.
Absolutely. I buy that Death Wish coffee, dude. That shit's potent. My wife won't drink it. My wife won't drink it if she wants coffee. She'll wait until I drink a pot of coffee, and then she'll make herself a pot of something else.
I just make my tea. It's bad enough that I take so much milk in my tea. David, my hubby, he keeps on telling me that I have tea with my milk. But we have an actual code, which is code white, which means get some milk so Sherry can have tea so she doesn't kill anyone. I only threatened 1 or 2 people.
Oh, you don't want to see me without coffee in the morning.
Right.
It's about me without tea.
There's 2 things I do first thing in the morning, and that's nicotine and coffee. And if I don't have both of them, leave me the fuck alone.
We don't want to know the other thing.
So basically, don't even look at you when you wake up.
Pretty much.
And the rest of the day.
Usually I come out here and my coffee's sitting in my cup, sitting here right beside my chair, and I just leave me alone until I get about a half cup of coffee, and then we can start making plans.
That's how our roommate who passed away last year, you don't talk to her until she's had her coffee and she's walked around a bit. Just don't. And
my mom, she'll wake up in the middle of the night and drink a cup of coffee and go back the fuck to bed. I don't know how she can do it.
Hey, you've already said she's a tough old lady, so yeah.
We used to scare the
She
hell
might
out
have
of
to go back to the doctors.
We used to scare the hell out of the infantrymen over in Iraq making coffee. My coffee kit consisted of an ammo can with some instant coffee and a stick of C4 in there. And you cut off about an inch of it, set it on fire up underneath your cup. That's enough to warm it up.
Something my dad would have done.
And you see the damn infantry guys coming by and seeing us just sitting there lighting the shit on fire and shitting themselves. Yeah, all the respect in the world for my infantry brothers, but I have directly responsible for them fleeing buildings before, and it's pretty fucking hilarious.
I really have to interview you.
All over a cup of coffee.
really do have to interview you. And by the way, thank you for having been in the military.
Oh yeah, it was no big deal. It was the only thing I really could have done at the time.
I still like to make sure that people know I appreciate them. And I appreciate what you do when you go in.
I mean, shit, I grew up around Gary in East Chicago area for a long time. Ended up living in a martial arts school for 2 years after that. Getting out, going to basic, going to work at a maximum security prison at 19 years old.
Wow.
I was such a friggin' hardhead. The military was about the only place I needed to go. It was the only place where I would have even fit in. And then everybody kept telling me, man, wait until you're 40, wait until you're 50. You're not going to be able to friggin' walk, tough guy.
Yeah, that's
they were
about
right. I am going to step outside for a smoke real quick since I don't smoke in the house. So I will be back momentarily.
Alrighty. Tall Rob, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Rob.
He does a critter cam at night.
Cool.
He got some pesky raccoons and stuff to come up and eat some food off the railings on his porch.
Also cool.
So your DG's back to eating good then?
Yeah. I ultrasounded some snakes today, so I have some het albino pieds that got like 40 plus millimeter follicles. So I should get some, I should get a clutch, from that het female bred to my albino pied male. And I have an albino bred to the toffee that has 36 millimeter follicles. That should go also. So I got a lot more than I thought I had. So I got to start breeding some other stuff too, because I got stuff 31, 24. I got all, probably about 17 clutches that could possibly go. So I figure if you hit half of that, it's pretty good. So I should maybe have about 8, 9 clutches.
Wow.
Or more. Knock on wood.
Hell yeah. Granted, the market's down right now, but you got some pretty deep. It ain't like you're just running.
So anyways, the market don't bother me as much. I mean, a lot of stuff I'm breeding for is some stuff that I want. Like I want some more albino, I want some more pied females. So if I hit pied, that are het albino or even albino pieds, I'll probably keep those females. I have a chance of hitting 3 clutches.
Thank you, Tal Rob.
One clutch for sure.
Oh, so, yes. Thumbs up, people.
So the girl that Bobby was talking to, he sent me a message the other day to message this person, and I did, and she messaged me back asking if I was single. So, I'm playing this off to find out information from my buddy. So I said, yeah. And she's like, well, I've been single for over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent that to him, and he ain't answered me. And he ain't answered me back yet. So I'm assuming he wasn't happy with the information that he received.
Well, he asked for it. It's better to know.
Yep.
Yeah. I usually try not to get involved in that shit. Exactly. I try not to get involved in that shit. I bitch at her all the time for getting involved in her sister's bullshit. And here I am helping out Bobby,
Oh, at least he knows where he stands with her.
Exactly.
Yep.
Fucking rat got me pretty good tonight.
Oh yeah. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. There's a thing called rat bite fever.
I cleaned it out good with some 99% isopropyl alcohol.
That's
those are
99
or 91%. Sorry.
Okay, 91%.
Morbid is going undercover.
Oh yeah, dude, it stung like hell. I was screaming like a little bitch. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you gotta watch getting bit by rats. Some of them carry that disease, rat bite fever.
And it wasn't like it was a little rat either. The damn thing probably weighed like 600 or 700 grams.
Yeah.
And it was the top tooth. I think he tried to drive it to the bone.
I definitely ripped it around there.
Yeah, those rats, they can be nasty.
I know my thumb's pounding. Feels like I slammed it in a fucking car door.
Yeah, they can give you a nasty bite. I'd rather get bit by a snake than a rat.
Oh, hell yeah. This is the first rat I've ever been bit by, and I ain't looking forward to another one.
Oh, I've been bit by them before.
I don't fuck with them. She messes with them.
Well, heck, someone's got to like the furry little beasts. I suck. I would have a
Hey,
hard time keeping them off.
sorry.
Right?
Trying to get the wife to get a hold of Joe and tell him that you're on here.
Yeah, I could show him what I've got right now and all that other stuff. But now it's time to go talk to the wife. Get him over here so Sherry can show him what she's got for it. Got doing his logo. Huh. And he's back.
There we go.
And the couch is back. So?
She's going to message him.
Okay. You want to see how far I got? Well,
yeah, let's see what you got worked up.
You know how far I got.
Joe from Venomous Enclosures has a BMX bike team that she's making a logo design for their team T-shirts.
I need to find a good place to get some banners made. Get an Intrepid banner and a US Art banner made up.
US Art.
I just seen an advertisement on Facebook the other day for one of them places. They were 50%. They were having a sale 50% off for new customers.
That would be me.
You could get banners made. You can get a canopy made. All kind of shit.
Cupcakes. What the
Hey, Marvin, what do you think about that shirt I had?
I'll send you the link.
Cool.
I love your shirt. You need to get some of them made.
I think it was appropriate with my last name.
I like it.
So what do you guys think of this Prehistoric Pets reality show, man?
I don't want him to do it.
Prehistoric Pets animal show?
He wants to do a reality show.
Okay.
In my opinion, it's gonna drag more inappropriate shit that don't need to be seen on television into the community.
Okay, got it down there.
Yeah, that's pretty much the consensus. I think heard hundreds of people talking about it, and I think I've only heard maybe one or two people say that they think it's actually going to be a positive thing.
I just don't see how anything positive can come out of it. I mean, I respect the man. He's got a good business there, but the way he stresses his breeders out just to get the views from taking the eggs, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a female retic's gonna lash out when you try to take her eggs, but it's not nowhere near as dramatic as what they're making it out to be, because they're purposely putting them snakes through stress.
Yeah.
What show is this that they're putting out?
Well, they're talking about a reality show. I don't know whether it's going to come to fruition or not, but...
So who's talking about it, though?
Jay's Prehistoric Pets out in California. You know, I've heard opinions, too, saying that maybe if his daughter is more the focus, that it might be a little bit more tame. But, you know, if they do it right, it could be awesome, you know. If he kind of takes the feedback from the community and stops the dumb shit and doesn't try and make all the animals look like man-eaters, you know.
Yep.
And I don't know, man. It really kills me to see that, because you take a damn 20-foot retic that gets a hold of you, you've got a problem. You know, he manages to get those things popping at him and stuff like that. And you know, defensive strikes, that's nothing, man. they're gonna poke a couple holes in you and they're gonna be done. But I mean, even that 16-footer that wrapped me up and got a hold of me, man, it was a pretty uncomfortable experience. And
I would expect so.
Yeah, and I've had to bail a guy out one time. The snake had actually gotten a hold up underneath his arm and had 2 coils around his neck.
Hey, Joe.
And I heard a grunt. I was like, well, maybe I should go see what's going on. The dude's wind was cut completely off.
Wow.
If I wouldn't have been there, he'd have been unconscious and probably killed him. Yeah.
So this is what I've got so far, Joe.
I'm having the wife pull it up on the TV so I can see it. My phone screen's small.
Okay.
I was a young kid working at Fox and James Truck Shop. And there was a dude there, mechanic, scared to death of snakes. And me and the grandkid, the guy that owned the place, his grandkid thought it'd be funny. We caught a gardener snake and stuck it in his toolbox. Well, he flipped out about it, and then he grabbed both of us and whooped the shit out of us. And after he was done beating on us a little bit, he pulled his shirt up, and you ought to see the scar this man has up across his collarbone and across the back of his shoulder blade where he was in Vietnam and a big anaconda come up and grabbed him.
Really?
Oops.
And that's why he don't play snakes.
Yeah.
I'm not done with.
After that, we didn't fuck with anybody else.
I'm going to use some kind of smoke and stuff.
Right.
Cool.
Morbid and I had a difference of opinion. I said that you wanted the spokes out, and he said it was these black things on the. Okay, so it's the black things, not the spokes.
Right.
Okay. I heard you wrong, so I shall do that.
Well, now I can see it on the TV. That's a cool looking freaking cobra.
Thank you.
But yeah, we learned our lesson that day about fucking
hard.
with people that don't like snakes.
Hard to get that.
Yeah, I don't force them on anybody. I make some jokes at work because I've got a couple of my crews out there, some guys out there that are just freaking terrified. And, you know, I tell them I'm going to bring them to work one day, but I never would. You know, I'll pipeline her. So, of course, the sense of humor gets a little bit off color sometimes, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do something with that seat. The seat is really, well, maybe just leave it. It's,
Hi, how you doing, buddy?
rather bland to the rest.
Been busy.
Hey, where did...
Got most of the yard done up to there.
There we go.
Bossa!
Hey, Bossa's back.
So I have a bit to work on, like that spot with the snake and the rim there.
Right. If there was a way to make that snake's body like coil with the tire, it'd be so sweet. Like come up off it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I got it coiled here.
Right.
Right at the top. But I have to pull in the rest to coil it here. So a little bit more fighting.
Right.
The Cobra does not like to move nicely. But
About average.
yeah. But I got the idea, the way to do it now, and I can get it. So you want it specifically like the bike wheel?
Yeah, like it's
Okay,
the,
so
like the coil is the tire, and then like off the top part is this head.
Okay, I see.
Like shooting out of the tire.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I have it there, and one sec. Where is my? Ah, there's my dash. Let's open that sucker up again.
How's everyone else doing? I don't think I've ever met you, Intrepid.
Is that Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. Where are you out of? Or what's your company channel or whatnot?
Venom Proof Cages.
Oh, okay. Cool beans.
He's the one who makes the cool one, the cool
The enclosures.
enclosures. Thank you.
Oh, cool.
Yep. I work with all the super sketchy stuff.
Yeah.
It's not really super sketchy if you know what you're doing and you do it properly.
Right.
Yeah, this is the man I was telling you about earlier that builds the enclosures.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching my male retic downstairs running the glass. He's got all kinds of energy now.
Yeah.
He just put down a 7-pound rabbit about a week ago.
Nice.
So he's all taking some weight off now, and he's got a whole bunch of energy. Really needs to hurry up and get warm outside so I can take these guys out and let them run around.
I'm busted for the cold. My mail's been all crazy today too. Like one male retic I got left.
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple girls for him too, but.
Right. My female is down there cruising too.
It seems like the market even dropped out on retics this year.
So bad.
Really?
So bad. Well, shouldn't say that. It was a weird year for retics. So, like, certain babies did really well for people, and it seemed to be the higher end ones. But, like, your normal stuff and anything with any size to it, I seen consistently at tables all year last year.
Yeah.
But then I was just at a show where a guy sold like 4 pieds and a couple other ones, and they were, sub-adults. So maybe it'll turn around this year. Retic market always goes up and down, though.
Yeah.
True enough.
Well, you know what the crazy thing is, though, man, is you can I think you can kind of gauge what happens to them by watching social media. You'll see people posting pictures of their hatchling, their young sub-adult retics and so forth, and then all of a sudden you don't see them posting anything. Right. You don't see very many people posting their videos of their adult retics.
Right.
Only if you want to, Morbid.
I think there's a reason for that. That's, they can't handle the animals. They end up dying or whatever, or whatever the case may be. I just think a lot of them that people buy don't end up living really fruitful lives a lot of times.
Oh, definitely not. There's way too many of them produced for that to happen.
Yeah.
Where's Audrey located at? Is he down there in North Carolina?
Yeah, he's about an hour from me.
I'll be in South Carolina next month.
Yeah, you're moving to South Carolina?
No, I'm going to the Myrtle Beach Expo.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, Aubrey's got some really amazing stuff out there. Really, really awesome.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and even his monitor lizards out there are pretty awesome too, man. He's got he's kind of breeding some of the size out of the Asian water monitors, which is really cool because he's got some of the most docile, friendly, tame lizards out there that you can think of. He was out there a few months ago, and he had some hatchlings in an enclosure. And it was almost like that scene from Jurassic Park, where all the little dinosaurs start crawling up the guy. He just, as soon as you open the door, man, they're all just up here and want to, play around. He does really well with monitors too.
Later, Rob.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know he was into monitors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See you, Rob. Hey, Songbits. Hi. How's it going? I'm a big movie fan.
You guys actually know that big movie fan?
Yeah.
How do you?
We talked a
Yeah,
long time.
he's been in and out of a lot of our stuff for the last year or two.
Okay.
Yep.
Almost looked like a spam for a second. I was like,
No, he order.
yeah, hopefully this summer we've got some. I've made a couple other contacts out here. Last year we got with the Parks Department and put on a big public educational event. We got probably 5 or 6 of us out there bringing animals and setting up tables and stuff. And it was a completely unrelated festival that we just happened to be at out there with like the Science Center and some other people. And it went over really well. So we're hoping to be able to do a couple more of those this summer as well.
Orsa has put
Yeah, I
up
remember you guys did that last year.
the Earl 4, the venom-proof, the venom-proof cages.
Cool.
For Joe. Okay, let's see.
You got to make sure you go to the regular one. If you go to the LLC one, I don't have access to that one no more. Fucking hackers.
Yeah, they got you good though.
Oh, dude, so bad.
Sherry,
They done fucked up your shit.
I know you can't see me, Sherry, but I appreciate all the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you. I hope it comes out really good for you. I'm trying to make it come out real good, but I never know.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Good. I'm glad you like what I've been doing so far. And here's my fun part, the snake.
What did I miss there, big movie fan?
I don't think he liked the fact that I said that it looked like spam, and I was asking if anybody knew him.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, if that's what you're talking about, man, he didn't mean nothing by that. He
was just
pointing
curious.
out the obvious. That's all, man.
I don't know if this is a way.
Pretty new to our reptile community.
But can you split that snake into 2 pieces? Would that make it easier for you to maneuver?
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
It's all one piece for this one.
Okay.
So I can't snap it in half or anything like that.
Okay.
It's just getting the size
just right
put in, and the like for instance, I can tail. I think there's about 12 tail sections here. No, there's 14, 15.
See, there ain't nobody around here locally that does educational stuff anymore. There was a pet store in Indiana. Mike used to do it all the time, but he ended up with cancer, and he's having a hard enough time right now taking care of his pet store and his dad that he just don't have time for it no more.
All right. Yeah, it's not too terribly hard. I mean, we got lucky on that last one because like the parks director that I ended up talking to used to be a reptile handler at a zoo. Had no idea, and I was calling her. Everything just kind of snowballed with that one because I was going to go out, first of all, just go out to the park behind the Science Center as Intrepid and take a couple animals out there and rope off an area and do educational stuff. And then I was like, well, instead of it just being me, how about if I bring the Herp Society in and get some exposure to them too and get more people in there and get more stuff. And I was like, well, I better call the parks and get permission, And I told her, I was like, now you guys realize we're going to have, 14, 16 foot snakes out here and stuff like that, right? 6.5 foot monitor lizard. And she's like, you guys are good. So
Just
it
don't
worked
let it
out
eat
really
anyone.
well, and we made some good contacts and made a couple other contacts out here with some guys. So I think this summer we'll probably end up pulling off a couple really good educational events. And that was a big concern.
That's good.
With all the U.S. ARC alerts that were coming out with these states that were hitting the program bans.
Mm-hmm.
I think the people that are pushing this legislation are watching what some of us are saying, because the best way to fight stupid laws for animals is to educate people on them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can get program bans put in place where we can't get out and educate people about them, then it's going to be that much more difficult for us to, actually sound like we make sense when we go into these meetings and committee meetings and shit,
Yeah.
I like doing shows. Kids are always excited.
So fortunately, I think all of those things got knocked down, which was really good.
Yeah, Illinois throws a crazy thing every other week. I don't even know why they bother anymore.
Man,
dude, look at their indigenous species list one time. You'll have a good laugh at that.
Really?
Oh yeah, California king snakes, all sorts of stuff is on their indigenous species list. If it gets found in the wild, like someone's house pet gets loose, they add it to the species list.
Really?
They've had, I would say more reptiles have been sold in the hobby in that state than almost any of the other states. Almost.
Really?
I would say Florida's the only one that beats it because everything comes through there.
That sucks.
And all of their shows in Illinois are all concentrated to like one area, right around the Chicago, Streamwood, Tinley Park, that whole area right there. That's where they all are. There's pretty much a show almost every week in the area. One of them's twice a month. Every month has been for 28 years.
Yeah.
And back in the day before keepers regulated themselves
There
a
used
little
to be
bit better.
There used to be a pretty good show they'd have up here in Indiana, PA, where the college is at. They used to have one up at the hotel every couple of months. It was a good show, but I don't know why they just quit doing it there.
I used to do the Indianapolis show. That
Locally for us. Locally for us, I mean, there's the Youngwood show.
And best wishes on your dentist appointment. Not fun.
Don't even say that word. I need to go see one of them, and I ain't all about that.
Yeah, well, you've been leaving it for a while, and you know what had happened to Justin.
Yeah, I know.
But, well,
yeah,
mine
I know.
was actually not, but
it's just the dentist ain't nothing to be scared of. They got the good stuff.
I just don't like them. When I was little, I had to go to Greensburg I had to go get a root canal done, and it took them like 3 times to get the fucking root canal done. And ever since then, me and dentists have not been on friendly terms.
So learn me to do that with this one. Okay.
So what's your thoughts on these hybrids that are supposedly taking over Florida?
Which ones are that?
The rock pythons to the Burmese.
85% of people can't tell the difference.
There's that.
But they're saying they're the ones that are the offspring from those are the ones that are going to start migrating further north because they can tolerate colder temperatures.
Rock pythons can't handle, Burms can handle way colder temperatures than a rock python can.
I don't know, but that's what they're saying.
Is that Fish and Wildlife and saying that?
Because they be saying all sorts of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Fish and Wildlife up here said that tegus can survive in the wild up here in North Carolina, too.
No, they wouldn't say that about here.
Right?
Nah.
I don't see tegus surviving much past Georgia. And even that would be tough for them.
Yeah. Listen, I can't remember who it was now, but there was a guy who was out here in North Carolina and had actually tried outdoor breeding programs with them and just couldn't get them to go. And I guess if you look at it, there's like a small sliver of the coast where the climate is, good enough for them to live year round. And the rest of the state, they say they just don't survive the winters.
Right.
And I think it's just that one little sliver of coastline was a justification for the restricted species status out here.
Why couldn't they just restrict that area and leave everybody else the hell alone?
Right.
Because they like to try to make it so that we can't have anything. They're going to go after everything. Simple as that.
Oh yeah, it's going to be an ongoing.
Yeah,
it'll be an ongoing thing. We're never going to be able to really let off of it.
No, and people who have other animals say, "Oh, well, it's just the reptiles that are being treated like this and everything." And it's like, oh yeah, have you heard about the fish, the birds, and so on? Yeah, it's not just the reptiles.
Right.
Well, the thing of it is, if they want to push anything not native to the United States, what the hell is that going to do for cattle? Cattle and chickens and stuff like that. A lot of this farm animals were not native to the United States.
They were talking about all animals, the import and export, and the use of body parts and everything. That wasn't. And I said, that'll affect farms, it'll affect zoos, it'll affect wildlife preserves from getting anything. Because sometimes they have to get, depending on where and what critter. But it affects so many things: aquariums, science labs. So I think it's really important for people to know about this.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, Florida. Florida is just a unique place, man. There's I don't know. I have a hard time really opposing some of the stuff down there. Just because, anything in the friggin' world can live in Florida practically. You got to be a little bit careful about it.
You have to study it.
They're trying to blame all of the reptile keepers for all of this shit that's going on down there, and that's not so much the case. I mean, it might be a small percentage of reptile owners not doing the right thing and turning stuff loose because they can't deal with it no more. But I think a lot of it has to do with these storms that come through and thrash people's houses and shit.
Yeah,
In businesses.
But go to them import facilities down there one time. Like, honestly, you want some of the best herping ever? Go herping in a 10-block radius around any of them import facilities.
Right.
You'll find all sorts of crazy.
It's a herping time.
Almost. I want to go do some of it here shortly.
I've got too many damn feral cats around my house to do any of that. That's the only small animal you see out here.
I don't know. I got
this little neighborhood I got.
I got a bunch. We live in the woods. I got a bunch of free-range chickens that run around. So
yeah. Yeah, I think somewhere within a few blocks of here, the crazy cat lady just cut all of her animals loose, because any given moment I can walk out and look out the window into the woods and see a cat sitting there waiting to pounce on something. The only animals you see out there.
Well, it's hard when someone...
Cat to be in for a surprise when your retick's crawling around out there and pouncing.
Oh yeah, that's a surprise. All right.
They wouldn't want to be in proximity of them.
My old lady's cat here summer, as she goes shopping on Wednesdays, and she'd take the boy, and that's when I'd feed my big snakes when he wasn't around. And the big female, I'd let her out on the floor and feed her on the floor while I clean out her cage.
Right.
And she had just swallowed a big rabbit and like literally just stretched her jaws and reset everything. And the cat hopped over the gate that we got in the kitchen to keep the boy out of the kitchen away from the gas stove, and literally landed like 3 inches away from that retick's head. And she turned her head to look, and the cat pounced away. Had that cat not made that split-second decision, I don't think the cat would be here.
Yeah.
Probably not.
And you know how an 18-foot retick is. They eat.
Mm-hmm.
If they can fit it in their mouth, it's theirs.
Yep.
Dang.
Yeah.
See, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that was my understanding, was what Bosa said. So I guess it was a berm breeding facility that the hurricane took out.
Berms stuff got loose. That's how the cobras got loose that nobody talks about. A bunch of stuff got loose down there.
Mm.
That was a huge facility that got crashed into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how my mom does it. He couldn't get me in Florida. Any place that floods out as much, has as many hurricanes.
Okay, then call.
I like it in my nice little insulated part of North Carolina where the hurricanes don't make it to us. Worst thing we got to worry about here is maybe an ice storm in the wintertime and the occasional tornado that might touch down somewhere.
Random.
What's that, Muff? Do what in the morning?
It's nice here where we're at, but the thing of it is the power company's lazy, and they won't come trim the right-of-ways like they're supposed to. So every time the wind blows 30 miles an hour, we lose power for 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a bad place to run out of power in the wintertime, too.
Yeah.
You pretty much got to have a generator set up there. You're going to have big problems.
Absolutely.
mean, it's gotten a lot better in the last few years out here, ice storm wise. Remember 15, 20, 25 years ago being out here in North Carolina before, every winter you get an ice storm that just drop all of the trees like popsicle sticks, you know? And I think the last bad one we had was maybe 5-6 years ago, something like that. But when we get them, man, you can just go outside your door and just watch everything falling apart.
The thing around here, like the road I live on, there's maybe 5 houses down through the woods down here going towards the spillway. And I worked for Asplin and I worked for Penline. And I don't know what their lineman does when he comes out here, if he just drives down the road and looks straight ahead out the fucking window of the truck. But the 2 acres of property that I live on, I could go put ribbon around probably 35 trees that need taken out because they're bad on the base that are within corridor of the power line that need taken out.
Mm.
And they just trimmed down here like 2 years ago, and these trees didn't get that bad in 2 freaking years.
Oh, let's see.
Baby, get out. That female lynchy I got off you lynch is cruising her tote like she's hungry, but we tried feeding her today and she didn't want bothered with it.
That new boa I got, the wife took 2 hoppers today.
Well, I think I'm about ready to call it in for the night, man. Past
Cool beans, man. Thank you for stopping.
Yeah, it was cool. We'll have to do this again. At least we got the echoes sorted out.
Anytime.
What was that?
Yeah,
anyway?
it was Ken's shit. Had me freaking out. I thought it was mine.
Cool. All right, guys. Yeah, I'll have to.
I fought with that backstage.
Yeah.
Anytime, buddy.
Yeah, I had to change up because I'd done a couple live streams a while back, and after everything published on YouTube, man, the echo on it was just terrible. So, I'm gonna spend some time getting that squared away so that I can start doing those again. But it's just so damn hard to keep up with the work schedule and take care of the animals and then filming and editing and setting all that shit up. So.
Your buddy Gary, the guitar player, he got some pretty neat stuff.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. I was talking with him when he first got into retics, and he was keeping mainly boas, I think it was, but yeah, he ended up getting in with Chris McVicker and Dax and them from D&T. And just some really cool, really good retic folks. And the live streams that he's been doing are really cool. Really, really positive stuff. So if you guys aren't following Constricted and Addicted, you get some. He's got the retic rant, is what he calls it. And he went through 3 or 4 names trying to find one that wasn't already taken. So the name's kind of deceptive because it's not really a rant. Everybody seems to be really positive, and just Just talking retic stuff, big snake stuff. So I know he's got one coming up with Vanessa Crutchfield from US Arc. And I know he's got another one that he's doing with international retic keepers. So
Nice.
Cool beans. I'll have to look them up.
yeah, definitely. I'll matter of fact, let me link his channel in there for you guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's good people, and his band is pretty freaking killer too.
Yeah.
Oh, where you at, Gary? You're in here.
That Benjamin Payne that was in here from New Zealand, he's one hell of a guitar player.
Yep, he is. He can actually sing too.
Yeah, he does a little bit of everything. He plays drums, plays bass, plays guitar.
Sweet. I sing every time I get bit.
I'm quite sure it's very interesting lyrics.
It is. Nah, I've done really good, man. I haven't taken a bite in a couple years. Maybe it was last year that Niles got me really good. That sucked so bad. The last time he got me, bit me on the damn back of the neck and decided to hang on for 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. And he was probably 4.5 feet at the time. And it was, again, it's all my fault. I reached in, just for some reason I was moving him and didn't take any time letting him figure out what was going on. I just reached in, grabbed him, set him on my shoulder. He crawled up a little bit, and I was like, oh, cool, he's doing really good. And then pop. He just latched on and stayed there.
Oh.
I'm not. You're not gonna pull him off because
no,
those teeth.
But
monitor teeth, man, are like a hacksaw. You know, as long as they're pushing down on you and they're not moving, you're not too bad off. But the second they start to slide, they're taking some skin.
Yep.
Exactly. They're going. As long as you keep pulling, they're going to cut to the bone.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we had a nice long talk after that, and he hasn't bitten me since. So. Consistent of, please don't do that again. That sucked really bad. And Ruth was cooperating. Yeah, I mean, Ruth was sitting down there. She's like, "Oh, what can I do? What can I do?" I'm like, "Ain't nothing we can do. Just he'll let go when he's ready, I guess."
Get the Listerine.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Anybody in the chat, if you're not already subscribed to Intrepid Reptiles, there's his link. Please go hit him up and ring the bell and leave a comment.
What's up? And yep.
Pushing $3,000. So.
Nice.
Wow.
Yep.
Congratulations. That's
well, my goal is to get it up to $10,000 when I actually get back in a regular production schedule. So I'm just kind of doing sustainment stuff right now and knocking out the Now Monitor series.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to go into either Burmese or Tegus or something like that afterwards, just kind of doing every species that I keep, a few episodes on each one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's getting there. Slowly but surely. So yeah, okay, there's Gary's channel. You guys definitely have to keep up with him then.
Gary's still there?
And I'm gonna go crash.
All right, man. Thank you. Have a good day tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. You guys take care. I guess I'll have to do this again.
All right.
All right, take care.
Thanks.
Thanks for stopping, man.
Yep. He's a nice guy.
Very nice guy.
Still gonna bug him for an interview. I already have. I mean, right on here. And
Come on, you stupid phone. There we go. That's why I hate highlighting comments on this phone.
you need a computer. It's easier highlighting
Yeah.
stuff with that.
We were talking about that the other day. I think instead of getting a laptop, I think I'm just going to get a regular desktop.
Those work too. You can't bring them with you, but they work well.
I don't need to take it anywhere.
All my reviews on my computer.
I do so much stuff on my computer, as you see. Okay.
I got to see if she got that ASF out of this bearded dragon tank. No.
Get it, get it. Okay. Go. First I can get there. That's fun. So anything interesting with you guys?
Not a whole lot today. Mostly yard work.
Ah, that sounds like, yeah, yard work.
Yep.
I don't do yard work very often. I burn. Get anywhere near the sunlight and I burn.
I had a wife's watching Perfect Strangers tonight.
Ah.
She must have got tired of Taxi.
Either that or she's really far into Taxi or done it. I doubt that she'd be done though. That how long?
Well,
is
she
that
ain't
show
that far
on?
into it. She ain't that far into it yet because she ain't got what the fuck's his name?
Danny
Doc from
DeVito?
Back to the Future. No, Doc ain't in it
Oh.
yet. So
Oh yes, yes.
I can never remember his name.
His name's Doc from Back to the Future, duh.
Well, yeah, but
Frank Lloyd? No. Dang. Okay. That is looking a bit better. Maybe light here will help. Come on, turn on, you pain in the arse. Whoa. No blinding me. Oh, no blinding me.
man, I just busted that fucking rat bite open again. Damn thing got me on my right hand, on my right thumb, and that's right. I'm right-handed, so every time I flick my fucking lighter, it's breaking it back open.
Morbid. I got
Flicking your
stabbed
bit
by
can
a
be
toy
difficult.
that went through my thumb. By a toy.
What?
Yep.
Yeah. And I couldn't flick a lighter for weeks.
Pain in the ass.
I twisted this finger back so badly, I almost tore the ligaments and everything. and I had to have it in a little brace type thing. Couldn't type very well or anything. No, it was the middle finger, wasn't it? Ah, these two fingers it was. And you know how I did that? Putting a fitted sheet on the bed.
All right, I got a crazy one. I lost the tip of my toe because I kicked a rug, like an industrial rug, and they had to sew it back together.
Talent.
Oh,
I had a one little piece of rice rip into my foot. I got a big scratch on the bottom of my foot, and it stuck in my foot. And I
Wow.
had to dig it out. What? Who else has gotten weird injuries?
I don't know. The wife says she tripped over a quarter. She didn't trip over it. She stepped on it, and the quarter went skiing across the fucking linoleum floor. Is why she
I
fell.
tripped
She didn't
over
trip
lint,
over it.
so I can't say anything. I trip over lint.
Yeah, the wife slipped in dog water and was in a wheelchair for 6 months.
Ooh.
Is that the time she forgot her crutches?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh boy.
That's when the doctor's confused with another patient. Seriously, they shredded me in my room and everything.
Lake Trobe Hospital did that to my dad years ago. He had just come out of surgery. Probably 45 minutes after he come back to the room out of surgery, out of the whatever it is they take you to after you go out of surgery, and then they bring you back to your room. A nurse come in and said, "We're going to get you ready to take you in for surgery." And it's like, what the fuck are you taking him for surgery for? He just come out. Well, he has to have his foot amputated. It's like, no, he don't.
Tell me
That would have
another
been a
story.
lawsuit.
Add a wizard and I might believe you.
And to think Lake Trobe's one of our better hospitals around here.
Yeah.
I hate
it's a month
Greensburg
away.
Hospital.
Oh,
Greensburg Hospital, when Chad was born, his aorta valve was collapsing. We no sooner literally left the hospital when they left him out, pulled in the driveway, and he was turning blue. I called Lake Trobe Hospital and told him what was going on, and we were on our way to Lake Trobe. And we got to Lake Trobe Hospital. The doctors met us in the waiting room and took him and gave him a breathing tube. And they had the helicopter on standby and shipped him to Children's Hospital.
They leave you. They leave you 7 minutes to eat. Huh? They leave you 7 minutes to eat.
7 minutes.
I like to be stuff. Like I got in there, I did my face videos. It's like, yeah, here's a lift. This one lifts it. This one lifts it. This one side to side. Here you go. Pick this pallet up and move it.
That's the best way.
All right, guess I'm learning now.
Okay.
I sent them pictures and info to George, and he said he'd get back to me in the morning that he was going to bed. It was late.
Well, it's later for you guys than it is for me, so. No, don't want that. Don't want that. Go back down. Go back down. There we go. Okay, let's twist a little bit.
Wonder where Solo's hiding at tonight.
I don't know. Maybe she's at her boyfriend's place.
Oh, she's probably over there on Cole's live stream flirting with her boyfriend.
Probably.
Probably.
It's more important than coming and seeing us. Sniff, sniff. I'm so horrified. I feel like my heart is going to break. Oh, did that sound realistic or not? Nope. Oh, come on, you're not. Ah, stupid tail. Okay, about here.
Your daughter go back to school today?
Yeah. I mean, she left, what was it, Saturday? Around 2 o'clock. It's like a 9-hour drive.
Oh. Come on.
I'm surprised the wife actually volunteered to cycle out one of her big breeder males today.
Wow.
Usually she wants to keep them as pets.
Yeah.
Maybe it better.
Okay.
No, the motherfucker bit me.
Well, maybe she was bad at it for biting you. Yeah.
She's still laying there looking like she's freaking hungry, and there ain't no way.
Okay. Got. Oh.
Oh, right here. Look. Perfect spot.
I might have found a double-doored Pepsi Cooler in Greensburg.
Cool.
Double door. You're going to have a lot of snakes for that. There's one on Facebook Marketplace. It's a walk-in cooler for free. It doesn't work.
Wow.
So it's adjustable.
I don't want nothing that big.
That's a sucker that I wouldn't have gone near. That's the type of thing my brother would have put me in.
I had a cousin that did that with an old deep freeze, one of them old General Motors deep freezes that had the chrome locking handle.
Yeah.
We were kids. We were playing hide and go seek, and he hid in the basement. The only reason we even found him was because he had to pull like half the shit out of there to get his fat ass in the damn thing. Had it not been for that, we would have walked past there and never looked in that deep freeze.
Oh. Those things prove to be pretty darn dangerous. Yeah. Twist. Okay, wow.
When me and my oldest boy's mom first got together, we moved to Tunnelton in a trailer down there behind the fire hall. And
Okay.
we needed a refrigerator, and a buddy of mine found me a refrigerator at a dairy farm. It was in the milk house. Go out, look at it. Guy wanted $75 for it. Beautiful refrigerator, man. You never would have known it was in a barn had you went there and seen it there. But it was like 1957 or 58 General Motors, GE refrigerator. I paid the dude. He picked it up with a skid loader and set it in our 1-ton truck that we had. And it was just me and her. I went home, backed the trailer. I moved the steps. I backed the truck right up to the trailer and figured me and her could get that thing off of the bed of the truck into the fucking trailer because there was only like 1.5 feet of difference there. No way was that fucking happening.
What's up, Luke?
It took like 3 people to move that damn thing.
Hey, Luke, how's it going?
Luke, what you up to tonight?
I'm gonna have to hop off here pretty quick. I gotta get the dang kid to his testing in the morning.
Okay, just tell me how this is looking, please.
It's looking very good. I like it a lot.
Okay, so you don't want the small part of the tail out, right? Or do
Right.
Okay, so just that part, and
Hey, Mom, that's amazing.
It's just saying the little part of the tail right there.
I like how it's wrapped right there.
The foot pegs.
Yeah, the foot pegs I have to get out of there.
Right.
Jeez, what is going on here? These are dirty.
Yeah, so I'll get that part of the tail done.
Steve, I just gave it
and
to you. Right there.
Do some other work on it once it's all done.
Should we tip the head up a little bit more? Is that possible?
Yeah, I was gonna put the head up a little bit more.
Right.
But it just didn't do it yet.
Right. No, I'm not rushing you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Oh, and then the Team Venom, like, over it.
Yes.
At the end.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to make it transparent so that everything outside the bike is transparent, so it'll go on whatever t-shirt really well.
Remember before regular
That'd be sweet.
at my PlayStation, you said
I'm excited.
never use this again.
Thank you. I'm glad you're liking it because
the biker accidentally presses play, that charges the car. Everything is quick.
Because it's been a complete nightmare.
It was a nightmare finding one that was less than $15.
Oh, yeah.
To go into that.
Don't do yourself.
Then why is it around thousands upon thousands of times and not gone into it once? Okay, play your own mind.
Yeah, so this one I saw, I'd seen this one a while ago, and I had been wanting it, but just never get.
You ask her?
It's 12 at night. Go to bed. You got testing now. I love you.
After testing, ask her.
Love you. Go to bed.
Yeah,
Oh,
good old
I got him quiet.
Good old state testing tomorrow.
All state testing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm Canadian, so
Well,
I don't
basically,
remember that.
so he does online school, and it's
Okay.
really cool one because it's like super interactive with his teacher and stuff. So
Yeah.
basically, this test is to make sure the teacher's doing a good job.
Cool.
Basically, they want to see where all the students are at and make sure she's
Doing
teaching
her
them
job
to the level
properly.
that they want them at. Right.
Yeah.
My wife teaches online.
Go back. Go.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
Go to bed. So you
It's pretty cool how they do it. Like, it's like an actual classroom, and they got little breakout rooms, and the teachers take over their computer and all sorts of cool things. They can mute the
That is neat. So I'd be tempted to interview your wife about the teaching.
Yeah, she teaches biology.
Oh, cool.
It's a 10th grade class, but she teaches the advanced 9th graders.
Right. Do you think she'd be interested in being interviewed about how it is and everything?
Yeah, probably when school's over, because like right now is her first year teaching biology, and she's like, I never see her, even on weekends.
Well, I mean,
because we're getting ready in
whenever I ask
Pennsylvania.
anyone if they want to be interviewed, it's on their time.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania, she's getting ready to have the kids start studying. I mean, our state test is called the Keystones because we're from Pennsylvania.
Right.
So she says now she's working on all the lessons, and then now they're going to have to just work on a review for the Keystone.
Did she ever teach in an actual regular classroom before?
When she did her student teaching, she don't want to teach in a regular classroom. She wants to teach online.
Oh, I don't blame her. I'm
Yeah.
just asking that because it's a good question for a person to know what the difference is and what is best. I mean, not everyone would like it, but not everyone likes the other way around either.
Well, in Pennsylvania, on the news, it just said from a decade ago, we're 15,000 teachers low right now. We're at critical for teachers in Pennsylvania. They have 15,000 less teachers than a decade ago.
He doesn't have that.
In a really strange position.
What boy?
All right.
Okay, and
right,
I'll have a lot more done ready tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll have it done. Last night it took all night to render 3 pictures.
That's about the average, ain't it?
Yep, about average.
Well, I'm super
where'd my phone go?
Looking sweet.
Cool. I'm glad you like it.
Awesome.
Because that's what I'm doing is trying to make it so you like it.
Have a good night, guys.
Night.
Hey, take it easy.
Good night.
Oh, he's done sitting in that crazy little Okay. He's sitting there with his mouth open. Like I said. So, I mean, he's easily able to move somewhere if he's getting too much heat. But I don't know what little boom is up to.
Not sure.
Okay.
Move forward.
Okay. Let's see. Regulating their temperature. Okay. Okay, so he's regulating his temperature because he's getting too much heat. Take it out of the heat, dimwit. I'm so nice to my little guy. Hey, Luke.
Fine.
Chilling. That's great. Just bring him over here. What, did he see something? Oh, he's going after his
Get out of there, both of you.
Going after his
reflection.
reflection.
Watch out. He'll try to bite if you get your hand between him and the reflection.
Nah.
Silly little
Silly boy.
What's on your agenda tomorrow, Mr. Lynch?
What's that?
What's on your agenda for tomorrow?
Sweetie boy.
There's always, it's like living on a farm. There's always something around here to do.
If I could tell your face being
I might finish that
too much.
That tub I was making a lid for. I just gotta put holes and figure out how I'm gonna do the watering system on it.
Show you.
There's always, there's always something to do.
Okay.
I got to move that kennel around, move it somewhere. George wants me to start raising rabbits again.
Oh, yeah.
I'd much rather he just raises rabbits himself.
Then tell him that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. Okay, this is
Yeah, that picture of the het clown, you see how clean it is? Like it has no alien eyes. That's probably why I kept her, and she throws some really, really reduced stuff.
Nice.
Because that's the reason he didn't give me a definite answer today, because he's worried. He just got this fucking 10, 12-foot Burmese, and he's got this baby retic up there. He's worried about how much food he's going to be able to produce to feed this big retic, plus if he's going to have anything left to get rid of.
Yeah.
So he wants me to start raising rabbits.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, you did. You're a good boy.
Night, night.
Night, night, Twig. Have a good sleep.
Like I told him, he needs to go find some Amish up that way somewhere and make a deal to buy their rabbits. Because hell, I could go buy a 3-pound rabbit off the Amish for $5.
What happened?
You can't raise a rabbit for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look how much just rats cost. And you can see why, because the food's so expensive.
Yep.
Ah, crumble.
And then that Enchi het clown female, that's the one that produced the snake you like.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how he's real clean, because I mean, well, all my stuff, I show you all my males that I had before that produced all this stuff, how they were all real reduced.
Yep.
Yeah, it was what I was after years ago, like 17 years ago when I started producing het clown stuff. Because
it definitely paid off.
That second, yeah. I mean, those male clowns that I bought, that one, the first one was just a male clown, and then the second one was a pastel clown male. Both super reduced. That second one that was pastel clown, I paid $3,000 for that snake. I mean, that was years ago, but you can get a pastel clown male now for, dirt cheap.
$150.
I mean, you see how clean that thing was. And then, you know what? Me paying $3,000 for him, he made me a ton of money. I don't regret buying him, not one bit.
I bet.
Because I mean, in the Pittsburgh area, I was the one that had all the het clown stuff. People was buying, and that stuff was just starting to hit. The clown.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? What?
This time I didn't lose my lighter. I lost my goddamn pipe. How the fuck do I lose my pipe?
You are talented?
Apparently.
Look next to your 10mm wrench. You might find it.
Dude, I wouldn't even. That's one thing in this house I would not even attempt to look for because her dad has a toolbox in the garage that ain't got one motherfucking tool in it. Everything he got's in the fucking back of that van scattered around on the floor.
Oh, when I would build rat cages, I would lose my tape measure all the time. I don't lose it no more. I probably got about 30 tape measures in my garage. So everywhere I turn, there's a tape measure. I bought them from Harbor Freight, those Pittsburgh ones. I probably got 30 of them. Yeah. Look, I got one sitting next to me.
What are you doing, Sam?
Sitting on my table. They're everywhere.
Oh, you're eating my hair again, you little bum.
Yeah, I hope Bobby's not mad at me. I just did what he asked me to do.
He can't be mad at you if he asked you to do it.
He shouldn't be.
You may be out looking for a new girlfriend.
Maybe.
Was she local?
Just moved to Indiana, according to her, about a year ago.
What a prize.
Yeah.
What are you doing down up here? What are you doing, Sam? Come on, I hope you don't. Okay.
It's funny that she didn't look at your friends list to see who you were friends with and see that you was friends with him.
He removed me from his friends list when he did it.
Oh, you should have not said anything. You didn't tell her yet, right? You should start talking to her. Keep on talking to her, and then have him show up on your friends list, and that will scare the shit out of her when she sees that you're friends with him.
He had said about fucking having a bonfire down here and inviting her down, and he'd just show up. I'm like, dude, I don't really want that argument at my house.
No kidding.
I mean, I don't have any really close neighbors, but he got a loud voice, and his voice carries a long way. And
oh, yeah.
Come on.
You'll be hearing him screaming at her at your fucking house.
Yeah. I hear him and Jim go at it every once in a while.
Right? What I gotta do with you? Little bum. Here we go.
I guess Jim told him he could bring that gator down here to get firewood, but he wants it brought drove home every night.
Oh, yeah.
He don't realize it'd be harder driving that thing home every night than what the hell we're going to put it through down here.
Okay, back in your room because you're... No too interested in running somewhere else.
He has his garage. I think it's called Laura Hannah Custom or Laura Hannah Harley or something. He calls his garage.
Okay.
Laura Hannah maybe it's Laura Hannah Chopper or something.
Don't know.
Yeah, he has all his bikes and his pit bulls, and I said, Jim, why don't you put on there that you're afraid of snakes?
Big as he is. Big as bad as he is, and he's scared of little snakes, man. That's just funny.
Yeah.
Is it specifically the little ones he's scared of?
All of them.
Yeah, if it slithers, he'll get a gun and shoot it.
Oh boy. That scared of him.
I had a post on my Facebook page once that said, if your boyfriend sees a snake and grabs a shovel, he's your girlfriend. He didn't like that.
I got a couple of snake sheds down here hoarded up for Bobby to take up. I told him, I said, you want to get your brother? He bitches that all his brother does all summer, all winter long is sit in that fucking garage. Take some of these snake skins up there and hang them around in the garage around his desk. He'll stay out of that garage.
Yeah, he will.
I just pulled one off. I just pulled one out of the burn tank that's probably 8 foot long and 5.5, 6 inches in diameter. He sees that thing in there. He ain't going back in that garage. Fuck, you might wake up in the afternoon and go to put your dogs in their walkway out there and see fucking his building on fire.
Well, it was funny last year. I think it was last year or the year before. I had a black snake went in my garage into my rat room because I leave the door open. Yeah. And I walk in there and he's just sitting there watching, a couple tubs of my rats. He's just sitting there watching. So I tried grabbing him and he seen me. He took off running, right? So I'm chasing him around the rat room. I couldn't catch him. So I called my daughter. She comes out. She's chasing around. She grabbed a hold of him. We just stuck him in a drywall bucket, took him down by the lake and let him loose. He would have tried to kill it, I mean, black snakes are good. And they're good to have around.
Yep. Well, do you know...
It was probably stunned.
Do you know Kissik's back here?
I knew George, but he's no longer with us. It's probably his relatives. But he had he had the old farmhouse. That was his place.
His brother lives there. I forget what his name is now. But he come up here at the right around the end of last summer. Me and Bobby were up here hanging, and Pickle was here. We were pretty drunked up, and he pulled in the driveway. He says, I want you to put this up there in Fred's camper for me. And he flipped over a piece of cardboard, and there was a black rat snake in there. I don't know if he took a cane or something and just like bludgeoningly beat its fucking head in. And I flipped out on him. I'm like, dude, I had to take that thing out of that truck bed and beat your old ass with it. Get the fuck out of here and don't come back. And my wife's like, you were a little harsh on that old man. I'm like, I don't really fucking care. He stops here every once in a while. He goes around and gathers up leftover fruits and shit from the food bank and stops here for the pigs.
That's nice.
I did apologize to the guy. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry for the way I acted, but don't kill a snake and bring it to my house and think you're not going to get fucking bitched at.
Mm-hmm.
Especially a black snake or a rat snake. I could see it if it was a copperhead or something, but not something like that. Yeah. Well, it was in my basement. It was in my basement. I had to take a fucking coffee can with a plastic lid on it and smear peanut butter on the inside of the lid and take a bunch of these ASF down there and set them off in the corner of his driveway somewhere. He'll be wishing he had that rat snake back.
Well, if he has a black snake in his basement, he probably has mice and rats around his house.
Well, that would make him feel better. Head up. No.
Good God. Could you imagine a colony of ASFs getting loose down here in the woodlands?
Yeah.
Colony of ants?
ASFs.
Oh, ASF. That would be quite a deal.
Them things are nasty.
Well, I've known some people who have been able to work with them without them being nasty.
Oh, we have a colony of them here. That original colony that big female come from that I give you, that colony, they're cool as hell. You can pick them up and hold them, and they don't bite you. They don't try to bite you. Even with they just have babies. You can pick the mom up and mess with her babies and put them back in there. They don't eat their babies or nothing. But these ones that have grown up and just starting to have babies, they're fucking assholes.
What are you doing tomorrow?
If the weather's nice, I want to get some of this shit done down here, maybe. I got a list of shit 10 miles long that I need to fucking get done.
Oh, I got a honey-do list, too.
I need to get back out there to the golf course and pester him, see what the hell is going on. I mean, spring's here. It's going to be raining for the next month and a half. I don't see what difference does it make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ain't the first time I've weed whacked or fucking raked out sand traps in the rain, and it won't be the last.
Yeah. Yes, I saw that you were talking about thermostats a little bit.
Yeah, he's still hell-bent on ordering them.
I was going to say something, but it was echoing so damn bad. I mean, I was going to ask him, what do you look for in a thermostat? You know, for it to be cheap? I mean, you know, when Pro Exotics warehouse burnt down and he lost it was like $1 or $2 million worth of ball pythons. That's when Spotted Robotics with the herp stats started like doing a lot of research and putting safety stuff on their, you know, their thermostats, you know. And, you know, everybody else kind of followed suit, you know. But, you know, I mean, if you're paying $40 for a thermostat and it has, you know, all this stuff on it, I'm just wondering how much those components are worth that's in there. Because you put a cheap relay in, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, if you think that this thing's set to open, you know, if it fails to, you know, to feel open, it can feel shut if that relay sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, to me, I buy a thermostat that's well made, you know. You know, I just bought one. It takes two. It's a dual one. You know, you can run 2 different tanks off of it, 2 different temps, 2 different probes. And I paid $226 for it. And he's talking about getting ones that are only $40. You know, he got to realize that thermostat can do more than just burn his snakes. It could burn his house down.
Yep.
I mean, and here's a good point. Call your insurance company up and tell them that you have snakes. They know that you're using heat tape, and there's a good chance if you just tell them you want to get insurance on your snakes, they'll probably drop you. There was a big discussion before people was doing that. People were calling up trying to get insurance. There was a point in the industry where people was trying to get insurance on their snakes because of fires, and then they were calling up their insurance companies and they were being dropped because they had heat tape in the house. That's what burns most trailers down. Is, you know, it's like it's the same thing as heat tape.
Yep.
You know, you got to wrap your water lines underneath your trailers so they don't freeze. It's the same thing as heat tape.
Yep.
It's just you don't use a thermostat. You know, you just plug it in.
That Tyler dude that I got my blood python off of lives out there in Greensburg. He made a post the other day looking for somebody to come replace a breaker because he cooked the fucking breaker in his basement.
Yeah.
And he had 3 snake racks that were 8 foot with shelves on them. The shelves are 8 foot long, 6 shelves high, and he had
Hey,
that heat tape that you use for water lines.
Yeah.
I'm still in
he
bad
had
pain, but I have
3/4
to
inch plywood
finish
routed
things.
and had that zigzag back and forwards them racks for belly heat, and that's what cooked his fucking his breaker in his basement.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Ken realizes that, you know, that thermostat, you buy these cheap ass thermostats, that thermostat could burn your house down. So I hope he sleeps. I hope he has a damn smoke detector, you know, and he sleeps good at night, because it's happened. I mean, what burnt Pro Exotic down was he had all these all his heat tape plugged into like one outlet, you know, with a thin extension cord. He had all that stuff going to extension cords, and it overheated those extension cords. They weren't made for that, and he burned his place down. I may
Doesn't take
pay.
much when it comes to fire.
Yeah, I may pay a lot, you know, for a thermostat, but I and the thing is,
Yes,
even with
Glenn?
a good thermostat, you can still burn your house down, but you got less of a
Take it off.
chance, you know. You buy something that's quality.
Mike up there at Pierce's burn his building down. He was the Zilla man years ago when it come to thermostats. That's what he would sell in that store. And he does not. He don't. You can't go there and pick up a thermostat from him right now. If you want a thermostat, you call him or go up and talk to him. You put a deposit down. He'll order you a thermostat. But to go up there and pick up a cheap one, he'll send you to Petco or somewhere after he gives you a 15-minute lecture on it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and Ken's buying these $40 thermostats. I don't know how he sleeps at night. Now, I mean, I have a degree in electronics, you know, and that's a little bit more into like, you know, electrical, you know, house wiring is a little bit different than what I went to school for, but I mean, still electrical, you know, and just, you know, I understand that stuff, and you know, you got to realize, you know, just like he's putting his eggs on a lighting grate like mine, but he's using perlite and vermiculite, which there's nothing wrong with that. That works. But I think he's setting his perlite and vermiculite up like where he squeezes it and the water comes out for like if you're going to put your eggs in it. So his eggs are going to run dry because, you know, he's setting it up for, you know, putting your eggs right in the perlite. So he needs to wet his perlite down a little bit more if he's using, you know, a lighting, you know, that grid, because his eggs aren't going to touch that perlite, which the way he's setting up, they're supposed to touch it. So he got to, you know, I heard him talk about that, and I thought about it, and I was thinking, you know, I'm just wondering, you know, how he talked. He's talking about, you know, how he's with the moisture, how he's setting them up is kind of like what you do when you don't use that light grid. So his eggs may collapse if he does that. Now I told him how I did it, but I mean the perlite, vermiculite, that way works too. It's just I think there's just, you know, the room for error is less with that. You know, you got less room for error than the way I do it. You know, that's what's nice with the way I do it.
Look, Sherry, I do drink something other than coffee and Monsters.
Hold on a sec. I'll take a look. You mean your chocolate milk?
Nope. I actually got a bottle of water this time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that on my calendar.
Don't happen too often.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm like that when it comes to water as well. I'm not as especially happy with that. With
Mostly I'm too lazy to go make the damn coffee myself, and if I wake my wife up to go make me coffee at fucking 1:30 in the morning, I fear I might get something thrown at my head.
Yeah, I could see that. I wonder why I could see that. I just don't know. I have no idea why I could imagine that very vividly. Huh. Stand up. Arr. Dang it. Okay.
So what is Bobby going to do with that riding lawnmower he has?
I have no idea.
That zero turn. They just put a bunch of money in it and then just let it sit because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with it.
I don't even know if he knows for sure what's wrong with it.
I mean, basically, you got to check compression, which it probably has. It's not that old. Then you got to check to see if it's getting a spark. And if you got those two things, then it has to be fuel. I mean, there's only three things make a motor run: compression, carburation, and ignition. You got to figure, he got to break it down and see where his issue's at, and look in the right direction.
Last winter, he said about getting that dune buggy up and running. I went up there, and the last time I was up there, we were up there cutting firewood, and I walked past that dune buggy and actually looked at it. There it sits with the exhaust manifold pointed up in the air, and
all that water
nothing over the fucking exhaust pipe on it, and it's been sitting there for how many fucking years like that?
Yeah.
That thing might be locked up tighter than a rat's ass.
Yeah.
Well, then he ain't using it. Okay.
Hey, do you want any firewood split for up there just for outside adventures?
I don't know. I was thinking about putting a fire pit in. I'm going to build a patio. I don't know if I'll get to it this year, but it's in my honey-do list. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do this year, so I don't know if I'll get to it. But like I'm doing a new shower in my upstairs bathroom, and then I'll just basically remodel the whole bathroom once I do that. The floor and that ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one for this year. Is I just it had a tub in there, and I took it out. I want to do a walk-in shower with a seat in there. And then I'm going to put a drywall ceiling in my bedroom because it has like that real old style, almost like that cardboard where it looks like block. I don't know if you ever see those ceilings. It's like pressed cardboard, like it looks.
Yeah,
but it's white. On that side you see it's white. I'm ripping that. I'm going to rip that stuff down because all my other ceilings are pretty much all drywall in this house. But that's my bedroom ceiling, and I got a drywall lift, so that's not that hard because I'd want to use 12 footers.
Let me know when you start that project. I'll come up and give you a hand with it.
Yeah, I used to do that stuff for a living when I was a kid. Drywall. My uncle owned a drywall company when I was in high school. Like I worked for him and stuff. I did a lot of the stuff at Barrett's house. A lot of that drywall, that cathedral ceiling and stuff. Me and Big Bob did all that shit. That was years ago, though.
As far as downstairs goes, I've never been past the laundry room in the back there off the deck. And upstairs, I've been in like 5 feet in that door upstairs. That's about it.
Yeah, I did all the shit up there, too. Even the shit that collapsed on Bobby, but that was because his roof leaked. It wasn't the drywall. It was his roof leaking. Made all that shit come down.
Yeah.
Oh, the roof leak got into the.
Oh yeah, his ceiling fell down on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that idea. I mean, we had that happen once when there had been water getting in through the ceiling, but it was the fiberglass, the type of fiberglass filling type stuff got wet, and when that got wet, it
Oh, you're talking about the
expanded.
insulation.
Yeah, the insulation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Muchos appreciate. Yeah, and it came down, and it was really interesting because my sister, Dot, she used to come home, and about the time in which it happened would have been when she'd be cooking her lunch. But she contacted our mom and said, I'm not feeling well. And mom told her to go have a bath. So she went and had a bath, and the ceiling exactly above where she would have been if she had have done everything like she normally did, came right down where she would have been.
Well, I think this one fell on Bobby, didn't it, when he was sleeping?
Oh man.
I don't know.
I mean, if you got a leak in your roof and your drywall starts dripping, you put a hole in your drywall, because it usually will it will trace a seam. It'll come down the seam, put a hole in it, and let that water drain out there, because it's going to do more damage if you don't.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep it. You don't want to keep it from spreading and the whole ceiling getting wet like that, because that's why his came down. He should have put a hole in it right away and let that water come down out of there into a bucket.
Yep. It's really, really difficult. I mean, any of that type of stuff, it takes only moments for anything to really happen, and it's none of us realize until we see. It goes so fast with things like fire and make it go.
Did you see they started selling chilled corn at Walmart?
Oh yeah.
Cycle.
And she has a bad connection. She's locking up.
Yeah, she's. Sherry, your internet's goofing up.
It's frozen right now. I hear your rooster.
Yeah.
I keep wanting. Okay.
Yeah, it's locking up big time.
So I
Yeah, I think it's like 10 or 12 bucks for a 50-pound bag of it.
What is it? What
the
kind of corn?
Yeah, just regular corn.
Yeah.
Because I've been having her sister pick it up there at Walmart. That way we don't have to go to fucking the feed store and get all that lovely dust all through the back of her car.
Yeah, it's bad there.
Nope, the last snake I got, Luke, was the one that Mr. Lynch picked up.
I go to reptile shows out here. I don't vend no more. I used to. I pretty much wholesale to the vendors.
I think you're better off that way. Just get rid of them all at once and be done with it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
Kale, how you doing? Where'd it go? I know it's there. I just seen it. Damn phone. Cole, what's up? Links in the chat somewhere. Sherry's internet must have took a complete poop.
Oh, it was, yeah. Just at the very end, though.
Tell you what, she's pretty good at that computer shit.
Yeah.
Way more
How's it
patience
going?
than what I got.
He says there's no link.
Oh, give me a second. I'll get it there. Oh, damn phone. It's there now. Bobby come down, I forget what day it was, Saturday or something, and we cut up some of this oak tree that blew down back here in the yard and carried out like 6-foot long posts out to where the pig pen's at, and cut them up in small pieces there and used the little wagon to pull them out to his car. He needs to get that. There's a bunch of shit back there to cut up for firewood, but he needs to get that gator down here. I'm not playing that game, dragging fucking 6-foot sticks of logs out of the woods by myself.
Oh, yeah, it sucks. Or that or that truck.
Yeah.
So how many rats does that guy produce like a week?
I was going up and getting probably 35 or 40 of them every 2 weeks off of them.
Yeah.
Plus what he needed to feed. You know, he had enough produced at that time to feed what he had. But now he's worried about supplying food for that Burmese, which it needs fucking rabbits or something. It's too big to be feeding rats.
Yeah.
Damn thing's like 12 foot long. Anybody see Solo tonight? Hope everything's all right. She's usually bouncing around somewhere.
Yeah, I may get, a few clutches here this year. As I just ultrasound. Some of the snakes I haven't even bred yet this year. I'll go throw them in tonight. Few meals.
Yeah, I talked to her a few times yesterday. She was on Rodriguez's live last night in the chat there for a while. I guess Instagram, you're not, or not Instagram, but TikTok, you're not allowed to go live on or something anymore. Or no more live feedings or something.
Yeah, I don't have TikTok. I heard they said the government's going to try to shut that down.
I don't know. I have one. I very seldom ever post anything on it. It takes forever to post anything to there. About to be banded.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yep.
Great. Then they're all going to come over to the YouTube side. Start posting all them stupid fucking videos. I'm sorry, I'm old school. If I wanted to go watch some half-naked woman dance around, I'd go to a fucking strip club. Did you know the oh god damn it, why can't I think of their last names right now? The people that lived in the house down here in the middle of the turn right here at the end of my road.
Riders?
Riders. Did you know Jackie and them?
I knew Gary.
His oldest daughter turned out to be a bombshell.
Oh, all his daughters did, I thought.
I don't know the younger one. I know Jackie. I went to school with Jackie. She was a couple of years younger than me, but she ended up engaged. She ended up engaged to that Larry dude that had the strip club out there at New Ellick.
Oh yeah.
And she got mad at him one night. It just happened to be payday, and she got mad at him one night, and she took her engagement ring off and threw it across the bar at him. And she said, "I'm going to leave with the first person that asked me to." I pulled my paycheck out of my pocket and threw it on the bar. I'm like, "Where do you want to go?" He hated me ever after that. I mean, if I'd go in there, there could be 3 people sitting at that bar, and it'd take him 45 minutes to get me a fucking beer.
Yeah, I knew Gary, like, back in the day when, like, we were all kids and stuff. I mean, he was a little bit older than me. But I knew his younger brother. He had a younger brother named Jeff.
I seen him
think he had an older brother too.
I seen him like 2 weeks ago down at the dollar store in Salzburg.
Jeff?
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah. Because Jeff went to Salzburg. I mean, he's older.
Yeah. His boy Clayton turned out to be a really, really good fucking stonemason.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I remember him. Yeah, I met him, Clayton. I met his daughters, too, but I talked to Clayton more.
Jackie and Courtney.
Down at the boat docks. The neighbors that live right straight across from them, Clayton was watching their dog or something. Their dog bit him in the face or something. You hear all about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie ended up marrying that dude from Rick's Sports Bar down there on 22.
Rick?
I guess the guy's name's Rick.
Well, Rick was the one that owned the bar that was originally across the street, and when they widened 22, like he got all kinds of money. It was a small place.
I remember it.
Yeah, I actually liked it better than the big place. I mean, they had some really good food in there and stuff, and when it went real big, it wasn't quite as good.
Denny Roberts, we left. They had Manjeri and Son Crane Rental, but they had Manox right there below the adult bookstore on 22.
Yeah.
We left out of there one morning, probably 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, with a load of contaminated dirt we're taking down around Pittsburgh somewhere. Denny Roberts knew a guy that had a farm down there that they could take his shit and dump it to and get rid of it. And he wheeled into that bar and come out of it. He said, "I need a drink. I'll be right back." He wheeled into that bar and come back out of that bar with a fifth of tequila for breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
And the motherfucker just about wiped that bottle out before we got to our destination.
Jeez.
Well, he was cutting. They were demolishing the. You know where the old coal job used to be there in Slickville, like kind of behind the AFW.
They had that sign, Slickville, up on a hill there. That's all coal.
Well, to
like
the
Hollywood
left,
sign, at the Slickville sign.
Yeah, if you're standing there on the main road looking at that sign, to the left of that, like down past where Kitch's Auto used to be, Muzzy's Market, that white building there with that big empty parking lot used to be a bar when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And right in that corner of that woods back there, they had a screening plant set up there. They were reclaiming all that bony pile and stuff that was in there. And they closed that down, and Denny was in there demoing that stuff. And he was like 3 or 4 stories up on a shaker, and he cut something loose, and that whole fucking shaker fell to the ground. And he broke a bunch of ribs. He broke his leg. I forget what all he fucked up on it. But he drug himself over to his truck and called his boss. And the boss called the ambulance. When the ambulance got there, he was standing up, leaning against his fucking truck, smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer. And they started checking him out and like, how come you're not like doubled over in pain and stuff? And he's like, well, I pre-medicated myself. I had some morphine in my truck.
Huh.
Yeah, I used to work for a dude that was like at tree service. My dad would drop me off. He lived out there at the Oasis in that trailer. And he would drop me off in the morning when he'd go to work at 5:30. And Sean would wake up at like 5 or so because he knew I was coming. And when I get there, he'd have like 7 or 8 cans of beer sitting on the fucking table already drank for breakfast.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I guess Pickles like that too. I guess Bobby said he come up a couple of weeks ago and got the rest of his tools and shit from up there.
You're talking about
Peppy or whatever his name is.
Peppy.
Yeah,
You call him Pickle. Peppy.
Yeah. But he calls him Pickle down here.
Oh yeah, I didn't know what you were talking about. I just know him as Peppy.
You know, he was coming around down here all summer long last year. Little man got attached to him coming around. And little man was actually to the point where he would hear that truck coming down off the hill. It had to be Pickle. And then he just up and ghost everybody and fucking don't come around no more.
I thought something happened or something, because it happens all the time. He would be here for a while, and then the next thing you know, he's gone. I thought the first time that happened.
Bobby and him got into it because he lost that job down at the school doing the roofing because he didn't want to go to work. He was too busy fucking off. And Bobby said, well, if you're going to be here during the day, you can do some laundry and help take care of Dad a little bit while we're all at work. And I guess that started to be a problem because he was running around going down to Tunnelton with Justine Stano and
who Peppy was?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was supposed to come back and do that ceiling in Bobby's room.
I think he got it done before he left.
Oh, you got it done?
I think.
I wonder if they got rid of all that mold that was in there.
I know he come down here a couple of times, and dude, he smelled like he fell in a fucking vat of fucking straight bleach.
Yeah.
All hoarse and couldn't hardly talk. Like, dude, you
bad.
know.
I mean, he let that roof leak for a long time, you know. I'm like, Bob, you got to fix that shit, man. You're going to cause yourself all kinds of problems. I mean, that roof leaked for a while.
Yeah, it looked like it from what I've seen of it. There was black mold fucking everywhere upstairs.
Yeah, that's why that damn ceiling come down, because it got so damn wet and it just pulled right past all the screws. I think that might even been glued. I can't remember if we glued that or not. Well, I hope they got it all.
I gotta get up early in the morning tomorrow.
It's already 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I know.
I usually get up fairly early because the damn dogs need to be left out. I can't sleep long either. I usually got to get up and leave them out for a little bit. I'll tell you what, my wife, she was having problems, like, because that dog's pretty dark. Seeing him at night out there, I broke up my night vision to where she can use that. That works really well. I use it when he goes out there too, because you can't see that little bastard.
Need to pick one of these up next time you're at Walmart.
What's that?
That's that spotlight that I got.
Yeah.
It's like $26. It's rechargeable. It's got three different settings, and the big setting, I can be standing in my driveway and light the side of Hook's house up down there through the trees like it's daytime.
Yeah. It's almost April. It's gonna be what, April on, is it Saturday? April 1st? Yeah.
I do believe so.
I should be able to get the bike out again soon.
I figured you'd have had it out the other day.
Yeah, I was probably busy doing which day? Saturday or Friday?
I think Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. I was whooped. I was doing stuff. I mean, my daughter was here and she just left.
I think I'm going to get.
What's that?
I think I'm going to get ready and cancel this live stream here in a few minutes. That way, it stops it at 3 hours and 30 minutes of time usage. We can hang out backstage and bullshit or whatever. That don't bother me. It's just trying to conserve some stream time.
Yeah.
There's only 3 people in the chat.
Tell them to come backstage too.
Look, if you want, you can hop up on the panel. We're going to go backstage and bullshit for a little while. Imagine Luke's still here. That dude that I was telling you about with the tequila, he got run over on a fucking Harley one time. He was there was 2 trucks riding side by side down the highway on the turnpike somewhere, and he tried to split between the middle of them, and he ended up bumping a handlebar, and it kicked the bike underneath one of them, and the ass into the trailer drove over him.
Oh, man.
All right,
2 minutes.
Yeah, it's at 28 after right now. Absolutely, Luke. Thanks for stopping, buddy. Much appreciated. Cole, if you're still listening, thank you for showing up.
I hear your rooster again.
Always, all night long, man.
There's going to be stuff around for him to do that.
He's in the garage.
That's weird. Usually it's if something's like, some type of animal close to your house. I'll talk to you later, Luke.
All right, I'm going to call this one because by the time my phone lets me push the buttons and whatnot.
Yeah.